time.
Hello, welcome to the Tabletop Sports Network. I'm one of your hosts, Rob, and the Falcon is here.
Kaka!
This is Capital City Bloodbath 2022, the final, with 4 tathletes, tabletop athletes. Tathletes, loving it. They are playing on the tabletop. We've got some exciting matches. We're going to dive straight in and get in there as early as possible so you guys can see the hot action. Tom hopefully has pressed record as well as miking up all of the players, record on the games. Would be something, yeah, if you don't mind.
Or
would
don't.
Be good. That would be
live
good.
your best life.
Yes.
We're not your boss.
Yeah, that would be good. So the games are going to be recorded in full, and we are going to be able to go into the player audio at any moment. So we're going to start table 1. Now, both these two players, every person here is in a winning position. Winning opportunity to win the event.
But one has a bit of a tougher bridge to cross than the others.
Yes, okay, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Francois versus Sam Procopio, Bruschetta, Sam and Francois are both undefeated and vying for their shot at the title.
Yes, Sam did beat Chris Rice in the I guess we could call it semi-finals just last round, with his Blood Angels taking out the Sisters in a tightly contested matchup. And we did get to see Francois playing Tim just minutes ago in a game that came right down to the wire, with Francois holding Tim off on primary so long that even though he scored 34 points on that final turn 5, it wasn't enough to overtake Francois' commanding early lead. So we've got Tyranid Warrior Blobs, Leviathan versus Blood Angels, with a lot of nice little tech pieces. I talked to both players before the game started. Sam thinks this is going to be tight. Francois does not. Francois really thinks this is Sam's game to lose.
Interesting. I love it when the players think something different about how the match goes.
Like, on paper, this is a tight game. Two players that I would say are relatively equally skilled. Sam does have a little bit more experience, and I think that's where Francois thinks he's going to lose out, because Francois has never played this Leviathan list into Blood Angels before, and Sam, because of how competitive he is, because Leviathan is probably at the top echelon of competitive play, he's played this game multiple times. So he has a bit of a leg up in the strategy perspective. He knows, like, he's seen all of the iterations of this. He's Doctor Stranged it in the sense that he's lived it multiple times.
Okay, all right, that seems to make sense. Sam's fresh off WTC play. Francois in the team?
Francois was not on the team. Francois decided to stay home. And just grumble a little bit. He also doesn't like that I call him Francois, so I've decided for this round I'll pull it back just a little bit.
Especially when he's in shooting position to take out the final. Like, we have to respect him. Shout out to Francois' partner if she's watching at home. I did hear earlier that she may well be watching, and so I hope she is. So big love to you.
So let's quickly go over the mission.
Let's do the missions
know
first.
Exactly what's going on.
Okay. So they're fighting for different pieces of graphic design in the 40K Millennium.
Exactly. So that's the key. Sam Procopio really loves his Blood Angel themed objective markers. So we've decided to let him have that because we're pretty sure he could beat both of us up in a fight, even 2 versus 1. The man is built like the statue of David, but way faster.
Cuddleable. We'll get a camera on in a minute,
But anyway, what we're running now is Tide of Conviction. So this is a hold 2, hold 3 mission. A little bit harder to get those primary points, but there are a lot more. Well, there are 6 objectives on the board instead of like that standard 5 we've seen most of the event. So hold 2, hold 3, hold more in terms of points. 4 points if you can hold 2 at the end of your turn, 8 for 3, 12 if you hold more than your opponent. And then the second primary, the other primary, is Overrun. And in this case, at the end of each player's first, second, third, and fourth turn, the players whose turn it is scores 2 victory points if they control at least 1 objective marker in their opponent's deployment zone.
Okay.
Okay, so this is this is where you can get your extra points here. This is really good for Sam in particular because he has such a fast-moving army with so many tricks, which we'll go over momentarily. It's a little bit easier for him than it is for Francois to get into that deployment zone and start scoring those extra points. And if Francois is not
He's
careful,
more mobile.
He's far more mobile. And if Francois is not careful, and if he tries to pull that same shenanigan of, I'm just going to push 25 Tyranid Warriors into the middle of the board, Sam will punish him for it and get those extra points.
He will. It really isn't in the Harlequin match, which you saw him play last game, where it was a little bit more piecemeal and he could take the punch. This is a Blood Angels army. Should we talk about what's in the Blood Angels army?
Yes, let's quickly go over this. Now, we did have Sam on stream yesterday, so if you caught that, you'll have a rough idea. Sam is running a custom Chapter Master rather than running Dante. This Chapter Master has Soul Warden, so he has a 5-up Feel No Pain, and he gives a bubble of 5-up Feel No Pain against Mortal Wounds.
We'll try to get him identified where he's on the table by our table bosses when he's deployed, because they're going into deployment right now.
Exactly. He has Rites of War. He's carrying a Relic Blade, which is a pretty nice, stabby bit of material. And he has the Visage of Death. And so what this means is he gives out a bubble of... he has multiple bubbles on him. He gives out a bubble of Objective Secured to all units within 6 inches of him, including himself. He takes away Objective Secured from any unit within 3 inches of himself.
Wow.
And he has that 5-up Feel No Pain against Mortal Wounds that he gives to all the units around him.
He does that all the time or once per game?
All the time.
Wow.
That is just constantly on. This is a very brilliant tech piece, particularly into a list like Francois, because it's going to let him, at some point in this game, if Francois doesn't deal with this Chapter Master, just steal an objective straight up, because all those Objective Secured Tyranid warriors get shut off. They're just going to have to stand there looking like big dumb idiots while that one Chapter Master takes those points away from him. So that could be a key piece in the mid to late game for Sam. And Blood Angel's Chapter Master being able to give out full rerolls to a Death Company squad or give out to a Sanguinary squad is no slouch, no laughing matter. So this is a big part of Sam's army, and he plays him relatively aggressively. We saw in that matchup against the Tau. And he saw it again against the Sisters of Battle. It's the main reason why Sisters of Battle game was as close as it was for as long as it was playing that Chapter Master very aggressively. He does have a Librarian here. This Librarian has Null Zone to shut off invulnerable saves. This is going to be key, really in only one turn in this game.
Okay, with the Tyrant.
Yes, so not just for the Tyrant. So Tyranids have an option for synaptic auras and synaptic links, where each turn they can turn on basically a power to... that turns on either an invulnerable save or re-rolls to a block of models within 6 inches of one of the Synapse creatures on Francois' side. One of the bubbles he has access to, because he took a Neurothrope, is a 4+ invulnerable save that he can just give to every unit within 6 inches of that Neurothrope.
Wow.
And Francois really needs to know when to turn that on, because if he turns it on at the wrong time, Sam will just wait him out and then blow up his models the following turn. So Francois doesn't want to use it early. He's got to wait until everything is committed. That being said, if he does that and that Librarian is in the right place and Sam gets off Null Zone, then that whole strategy of Francois is removed.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone and out the window. Now, one of the things, there we go. Thanks, Tom, for seeing that entire Tyranid army kind of like into that piece of terrain. As you can see, player plays terrain other than 2 pieces in the center. That's something for you all to know. I know some people super keen to know how that works, but those 2 pieces are always the same based on deployment map. The other thing to talk about is we know Sam plays very piecemeal anyway. There's Sanguinary Guard, which we saw him play in the other game. He sent Sanguinary Guard, they deleted a thing, and then they died pretty much. That was
but they take a lot of hits to get to die. And one thing you'll notice when you watch games with Sam is he can do things in such a way that more often than not they don't die. There's one guy remaining, and then that guy just goes off, does his own thing, pops onto an objective, and Sam just leaves until the end of the game. Sam is very good at denying you points and denying you kills, which can be very key in some of these matchups, especially if Francois goes for something like Take No Prisoners, where he's really trying to get every kill he can. So the other parts of Sam's list, I know I'm going on and on, but it's such a
it's
awesome
really
list.
important. It's really important.
He's got a squad of 5 Death Company with 4 Thunderhammers in them. I believe he only has 3 because of points, but those Thunderhammers, Francois knows that they're going to probably come in on him turn 1 and delete or effectively neuter one of his Tyranid warrior units. He's just accepted that as a fact in talking to him. And then he's got those 21 Sanguinary Guard, and those are the bricks. That's the stuff that's going to do the majority of Sam's work. The rest of his list is little tech pieces. He's got his Incursors. He's got a Scout Squad in a Land Speeder Storm.
Can we talk about my 2 favorite, the Land Speeders, the Scalpels?
So Sam uses these Land Speeders in an incredible way. Oftentimes he's going to take Relentless Assault, which is a Blood Angel secondary, where he scores 4 points as long as he has 2 units in his opponent, or more units in his opponent's deployment zone than he has in his. With such a fast army, it can be real easy to throw points away by shoving Sanguinary Guard or Death Company into his opponent's deployment zone to do it. With these land speeders, he's able to sacrifice only 60, 70 points to get those relentless assault points early game. Not only that, though, if Sam or any of his opponents, as we saw in the Tau matchup, give him an opening, those small bases on those land speeders, he can kind of hop in and get pot shots off on characters or important vehicles or monsters that normally he wouldn't have been allowed to get.
Yeah, it's just a real scalpel piece, able to just get into these very tight areas, like you were saying, and then just like deliver stuff. Is there anything you particularly think that he would be trying to deliver into on the Tyranid side?
So in this matchup, something that if he gets the option to kill, he will go for. There are two things. One is the Neurothrope. He doesn't want that Neurothrope alive. If he can kill it early, he'll be overjoyed because that removes that invuln save option for Francois. And the Tyranid Prime. So there's a Tyranid warrior in Francois' list that's a little bit bigger than the others, and that guy gives out a reroll to wound aura every turn.
There he is.
And so if Sam can get a bead on him, I believe it's 6 wounds on that model, and he can get a melt-a-shot in on it, take it down. He'll take it in a second. Neurothrope also a big deal for Francois. There's a lot of units. Even if the land speeders just pick up a Tyranid warrior or two, Sam will be happy.
So I'm right in thinking, that the first turn has been won, the dice roll was won by Francois, and we've seen Tyranids in their first turn.
Yeah, so it looks like Tyranids are moving out. I think this is a matchup where Sam is fine with that. Generally, if Sam had first turn, he's just going to be aggressive with his Death Company and do the free move, spend the 1 CP, and then try to pick up a unit. But given the way he's positioned himself, he's really got everything is relatively safe from the shooting. Quickly to go over Francois' list, if you listened to us talk yesterday, or like 3 hours ago, you'd know what it is. It's 25 Tyranid warriors with maxed venom cannons and death spitters, so they put out decent strength 5 shooting, a lot of shots. They also have some strength 8 AP3 shooting, which can pick up Sanguinary Guard if he can get beads on them. His Hive Tyrant is kind of Frank's real big piece, Francois' real big piece, because this guy, if he kills anything in close combat, he gets a free move away. He also gets an extra attack every time he kills a unit in close combat, so he can really boost himself up to 7, 8, 9 attacks relatively quickly if he gets into the thick of things. Francois probably not going to play him as aggressively as he did into Tim because unless Sam gives him juicy targets, because he won't just wipe out a Sanguinary Guard squad every time in the early game, things like that. So he's got to be a little more careful that he doesn't get stuck out in the middle of nowhere. He's got 3 Tyrant Guard, which are really good at bodyguarding that Tyranid Prime, bodyguarding that Hive Tyrant. Venom Thropes, usually in this matchup, not going to do a lot. They're great for reducing shooting, and Sam has so very little shooting that it's not a priority. He's got a Zoanthrope, he's got a Neurothrope, which are going to be just his psychic powers. He's got the single Biovore, which in other matchups is a great tech piece because he can drop Spore Mines that shut down movement, etc. The majority of Sam's list flies. He's not overly concerned about those. And then lastly, he's got that second Hive Tyrant. This one,
this one without wings.
This one without wings. That one is more. This one's more of like a sit back, relax Hive Tyrant. He's waiting in the wings for when the main big boy dies.
So we just passed. We're after the movement phase, and we know that psychic phase is in, and I'm pretty certain we've just seen Catalyst cast. We'll find out what it was cast on, and then we'll go and look at our others. But before we do, these are the secondaries that the players have chosen. Tyranids have got no prisoners, banners, raise the banners, and psychic interrogation.
Okay.
And Sam has taken Relentless Assault, no prisoners, and retrieve the data.
Yes.
Get me that data.
Sam loves retrieve Nephilim data. I know that this is a secondary that early on in Nephilim was considered not worth being taken, but we've seen it taken frequently by these more competitive players because it is something that you can often score 8 or 12 on, almost guaranteed, in a long, grindy matchup. Big thing to note there was Francois was unable to get his psychic interrogation points this turn because Sam denied it with his librarian.
He did.
So that's 3 points that that Francois is not getting this turn already.
That feels like a weird secondary to take.
Well,
like it's so based on whether or not your opponent can shut you down, right? Like,
it is, but oftentimes your opponent isn't going to waste their deny on that. They're not going to do. But Sam doesn't like. Sam knows what he wants, and he wants to shut down as many points as possible
Always.
off Frank.
Always.
And he didn't care about that catalyst going off. So Francois put the catalyst on the green Tyranid warriors at the front that he's kind of screening the rest of his army with. And I believe for Sam, he's just like, I'm not going to do anything to those guys in an opening turn. If I am, I'm okay if I only kill 4 or 5.
So, so with that said, first turn done for Tyranids. Blood Angels to retort. Chat, let us know who you think you want to win or who you think is going to win. That's a great question.
David Key does remind me Venomthropes do have a fight last ability, so that will be key. I completely forgot about that. I just, in my mind, focused on that -1 to hit in shooting, which is not a...
And Bush League in the chat has reminded me that some people love Blood Angels.
I love vampires. Let's cut to the other table. And
We're on table 2. There we go. Sponsored by the WTC. Proud patrons of... it doesn't matter.
Proud patrons of the world.
Yeah, okay. And as you can see, Hamza is back. Maybe the most stylish player in 40k. Do I dare say
guaranteed, for sure.
Hamza.
Have you seen how other 40k players dress?
So so the Knights have had their first turn. So Knights went first, and we'll talk about it. Jeremy is here with his Imperial Knights. We'll go through the list in a minute. Hamza's back with his Harlequins. It's the same mission. Pete, talk to me about the list. What's in them? What do we do?
So first thing we need to note, Jeremy Atkinson is the new 40k stats guy because I decided to have a complete mental health breakdown and stop doing it. Jeremy has taken it up. He's got a similar spreadsheet to my own. Does beautiful work, guys.
Jeremy.
If you watch the Stat Check or listen to the Stat Check podcast, it's an excellent resource now for getting your stats, just like 40kstats.com, which still exists on the Goonhammer site for your T-Whip, etc. Jeremy is kind of the behind-the-scenes magic maker for that, doing all that work that I used to do and just didn't want to do anymore. So the big thing about Jeremy here, he's running a Knights list that's very similar to the one we saw in round 2 on stream, Burton's list. However, he's done the math. As one would expect from a statistician, this list is definitely a list that's all about mathing your opponent to death.
Well, look at all of the notes. Like, he knows what everything's doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So he keeps ample notes. He's got little sheets of paper to remind him of what buffs he's thrown on what units. So just to put this out there, he's running 2 Armiger Helverins. He's got 5 Warglaves, so very similar to what we saw.
Very similar to what we saw
from Eric Marcoux. He's got a Knight Paladin and a Knight Crusader. Now, the big differences between this list and what we saw from Eric Marcoux, by running the Knight Paladin, he has access to a Bondsman ability that gives rerolls of 1 to hit or to wound to any Armiger in his list, but he's made him a Princeps. He spent about 35 more points on this Knight so that he can actually put that on the Crusader. So this Knight Crusader, every turn, is going to be rerolling all 1s to hit. It's rerolling all 1s to wound. He's House Tyrannus instead of Raven, so he's a little bit slower, but he gets a 6-up Feel No Pain against everything that's going to be thrown at him, and once per game, he's going to be able to res a Knight on a 4+. So when a Knight dies,
so a stand-up.
Yep.
Okay, I love that. Okay.
Also, he has taken the Warlord, the House Tyrannus Warlord trait on his Crusader that lets him turn 1/6 per game, and if he can somehow get his honor points up high enough per turn, turn any roll into a 6, which is very key if he ever gets a Melt-A-Shot off, or sometimes more importantly, like we kind of saw in that Eric Marcoux game, when you pop that calculated targeting. And you need to get those mortal wounds.
Yes.
You can say, okay, well, I just rolled a 6 to wound on my either my thermal cannon or on my battle cannon, and now that's a guaranteed 3, 6, 8 mortal wounds I'm dumping on a unit. Because as we saw in Eric versus Hamza's game, Eric relied heavily on that calculated targeting and whiffed. Did 2 mortal wounds and 2 other wounds, basically between every gun he shot into Hamza's list.
So pushing it into a more reliable place is going to be really effective.
So Jeremy has the rerolls that Eric didn't have. He has that auto 6 if he wants. So if Jeremy pops calculated targeting, if he feels he needs it, like it's going to be far more devastating no matter what into Hamza's list.
Yeah, I think Jeremy's been really calculating with exactly where he's put his army. As you can see there, those Knights pushed into the center, and he knows that Hamza and the Harlequins have got the opportunity to take him out. So I feel like he's feeding them the Armigers. Like that's how it feels. Yeah. Trying to draw them out and say, look, I want you in the midboard. Hamza taking that opportunity. One of the things we saw Hamza do really, really well last game was his ability to deny primary.
Yes.
And so I think we're going to see him be fairly aggro across the board. This is going to be interesting. That Crusader at the back, I think maybe he's put himself in a poor position. So bottom right hand Crusader has put himself in a really tough spot, because even if he pops out right now, I don't think he's going to be able to draw a line of sight onto any of the Harlequins. I don't think, Pete. I don't know about you.
He does have enough movement that if he moves this armature down, he can come into this spot, and then he does got pretty good line of sight depending on charges into all of this.
That's good.
So, and this isn't line of sight. Well, because of the low profile of the Star Weaver, it's probably protected. But like Jeremy can go ham. I would like to know, was Jeremy able to pick up any models turn 1? I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't, because of
there was literally nothing available. We'll find out if there was anything.
So this is more of a positioning thing for the objectives.
Nothing was killed.
Makes sense. So, but now Jeremy's sitting on these three objectives.
He's in the shooting phase now, so let us know what he does decide to start shooting pot shots at. I would like to know the output. We can even listen in for a little minute. Hamza was excellent with his talking earlier in the previous match. Let's listen in for a moment.
Up and took my objectives. And just so you're aware, he is on this objective.
Yes. And then that's going to do that. And I'm going to go into shooting. First missile start is I'm going to shoot him into D3 shots into the first armature right there from this guy. Actually, I'm going to suffer from force on either one if I shoot this guy.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll just do the middle one.
Okay. What's the profile?
It's that D3 grenade launcher that does mortal wounds.
AP? Oh, so...
Okay, so he's shooting that Shadow Seer, I think, pretty much in there. That's his plan. All 4 players are not undefeated, so this is our opportunity to talk about the win path for all 4 players. Just quickly, just remind ourselves on table 1, Sam versus Francois. We see what the Blood Angels have actually done here, Pete, and how they've moved out into the mid-board. Sanguinary Guard in the middle. Sanguinary Guard have moved into the right-hand side. And if we look, he hasn't moved any of those land speeders yet far down and kind of done his scalpel attack. Instead, he's kind of moved them out to the flanks, the red one on the far right-hand flank, left one on the left-hand flank. And what he's given himself there is the opportunity to strike down into the mid-board later on, because those Tyranids are going to do nothing more than, I think, move into the kind of center space where those Sanguinary Guard are.
Well, and that's why you see these eliminators getting positioned onto this objective and over here. These are screens that Sam is putting up. He's saying, if you want to deal with me, like you're going to have to kill them first, and I don't care as much about them. And as you can see, he's actually taking back that Sanguinary Guard movement. He's backing that up.
He's decided I'm not doing this.
Well, he doesn't want to lose the Sanguinary Guard too early to a Tyranid Warrior turn 2 charge. It'd be my guess. So we're seeing him like remeasure this out and get a better feel for how he wants to position. So in talking about like where the rankings are coming into this round, Francois Lalonde is currently in first place by just a few battle points over Sam Procopio. So that's your first and second. Hamza's in third. Now, all 3 players scored a ton of battle points this entire tournament, as did Jeremy Atkinson. I think Jeremy Atkinson has the most battle points of these players. However, he does have a draw, a 90-point draw that he got in round 4 against Dustin Henshaw. So Jeremy has the hardest win path here, in that he has to hope that Sam and Francois draw.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that he beats Hamza with a pretty decent score.
So really rolling the dice on that. Okay.
So Jeremy is more a spoiler.
Not impossible, though.
It's not impossible. Jeremy's more of a spoiler for Hamza than anything else, though there is that outside chance of him pulling this through. Yes, they are playing Tide of Conviction as the mission. We kind of went over that earlier. So this is a hold 2, hold 3 mission, which oftentimes will mean that the primary scoring is a little bit lower, particularly when we're looking at this kind of bloodbath that we're probably going to see come turn 3 or 4 in the Nids versus Blood Angels matchup, because you can tell, like we kind of mentioned when we saw Sam day 1, Sam is not the type of Blood Angel player to unga-bunga everything into your face and hope for the best.
Correct.
He plays much more calculated. He's more piecemeal with his kind of scalpel attacks. Even with the big broad boys, those Sanguinary Guard, he's more apt to hold them back, throw them into reserve, etc.
So just going back to our shooting in table 2. So just leave table 1 exactly where we left it. As you can see, Blood Angels moving. I doubt we'll see any charges. So it'll be interesting to see what the Tyranids do as they unpack their army going into turn 2. Going over to table 2, and we can see Hamza is in his shooting phase. And if you look in that center WTC marker at the bottom left, just near the big Knight Crusader, I think that's the Crusader.
I believe that's the Paladin.
Sorry, the Paladin. You'll see we've already lost an Armiger. And that really makes sense because there's a bunch of fusion pistols as well as other weapons.
Yeah, so he's got haywire cannons on all of those bikes that probably did most of that work, but he does have fusion pistols. He does have neurodisruptors in there. The neurodisruptors aren't going to do much to these knights. He's really relying on fusion and the haywires. In fact, I'm quite sure this is just the haywires doing all this damage. Luckily for us, Jeremy Atkinson isn't a crazy person. He does count down as one should. Counting up is for fools and
cowards.
And cowards for 100%.
That's how I do it, though, Pete. But I don't mind you saying that about me. You can call me whatever you like, as long as you say it with those sweet dulcet words.
Well, thank you. So this is a situation where Jeremy went into this objective knowing he's probably losing both of those armigers, but if he doesn't, he's going to be super pleased. That's why he has his paladin towed in on this objective, because he wants to keep it as long as possible.
Yeah. So I think that I said this at the start. I said this at the start of that movement. I feel like the armigers were there to draw out the Harlequins. You kind of have to, right? Because they've got the ability to piecemeal to kind of bring you off. So I think that's going to be the key piece. It's not tons to give up, especially if, I mean, that knight right there can go into what is a very densely packed little area.
Yeah.
And again, and I'm right in thinking the knights are going to have the stratagem to blow themselves up.
They can, yes. 100% he can choose to blow himself up.
I don't hate that. Especially into Harlequins.
We've seen a little bit of lag here on the camera, but basically what's going on here, the second set of bikes, or sorry, the third set of bikes whiffed on this second armiger, so Jeremy has to be happy about that, and we're probably moving into the fusion pistols that are at max range, and whatever like kind of secondary shots Hamza has available, to see if he can just whittle it down and make it a less brutal target.
I mean, it's still already pretty brutal. Like, let's be real. But yeah, like I'm. Okay, so apparently the 4-up invulnerable saves are really helping him.
Well, so Jeremy would have popped the stratagem to give a 4-up to the armiger, I'm guessing then, and that's what he's relying on. That's big news for him. It's wasting a ton of resources here on Hamza. It looks like he has to put his third bike squad into it, and I don't think he wanted to do that. But he's probably putting some star bolas into the big boy.
Well, yes. Yeah, like, very interesting match.
Oh, okay, so that's it. So only two from the squad here can see this small knight. So he has to put the rest into the big knight and maybe get a wound or two off.
Interesting. We're in an interesting place with this particular one. Right, okay, so it's going to table 1 right now. Sam versus Francois. As we can see, Blood Angels effectively just move very conservatively onto the sides. And we've seen, this is Sam's style. This is what Sam does. He gives nothing up unless it's going to really reward him. No long bomb charges, no big alphas, nothing like that here. As you can see, he's really set up. He's even moved the Sanguinary Guard on the far top right-hand side so far away.
Yeah, he's pulled them back even further off of this objective because he wants to be charged. He wants to be the one doing the charging.
Yeah, 0% chance he gets charged.
Yeah, and he's giving Francois this third objective just under the auspice that he's going to take it back. Right, like these, I believe this is 5 Tyranid warriors on this objective, maybe 6. Like they probably do not live next turn, but it's a trade Sam's willing to take. Like if Francois wants to kill these 3 eliminators,
I think one of the interesting things about that particular one is I don't think he hates the idea of getting a very long charge over the top. Maybe he probably doesn't. He probably doesn't want to go deeper into that objective than he needs to. But I don't hate the idea of trying to do it, is what I'm saying.
This is also forcing Francois to play very conservatively as well, right? So he's taken this smaller unit of Tyranid warriors to hit the eliminators. He's going to try and string onto both of these objectives, basically try to force Sam down to only holding 1 if possible, which would zero him out. I think Sam kind of is talking him through the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if the Chapter Master's back here, so they have objectives secured anyway. So Francois is trying to figure out if he can even have both at the same time. It's a good play by Francois because Sam really wanted him to go all in. If Francois had played any more aggressively, then I think that would be backbreaking to it. But playing it very, very conservatively himself, playing it safe, this is a great strategy on both players' parts in just the way that they're handling themselves this early.
So we're going to see I agree. This is going to be a very, very fun match. Both players understand the mission. They understand the assignment, and they're here to entertain and make us have fun. Talking about understanding that particular assignment is Mr. Val Heffelfinger. He's going to be bringing you the updates from what's happening at the rest of Capital City Bloodbath 2022, a large multi-system wargaming event in Ottawa every year. You should check it out if you get the opportunity to. Over to the Val right now.
Val Heffelfinger here once again at the World 6th Edition Warhammer Fantasy Battles Finals, as a matter of fact. Who right now is at the top of the event?
That I have not actually been keeping track of. I believe it'd be table number 1.
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. Table number 1 is number 1. I see you're still ringing it. What's your record today?
0-2. So
that's a good ringer.
That's what ringers do. So yeah, it's been good.
Now I know you were playing one of your first games at this level. How did it go last round, and how do you feel about this one?
Hasn't gone well so far. I'm 0-2. I'm hoping it goes better, but it seems to be kind of scary.
Well, your models look great. Okay, let's just quickly swing by the top table. I will give a little update here, and maybe actually we can talk to the player. We'll come back over here. As you might recall, there was a player at the Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition World Championships who brought 450 Noblars. And I just want to quickly get a few moments here with the man who beat the Nob. How was it beating the Nob? Was it hard to get him off the table?
It was hard to get that knob off. It was really hard. Beating that knob really took everything I had. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, I can only imagine. How do you feel about what you're facing here? I know you were concerned about the role that Terror and Fear plays here in Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition.
I'm afraid. I would say I'm definitely afraid.
Well, I mean, that's appropriate. That's the appropriate thing. Okay, I'm going to go here. I was told this is the top table. You might be the top table because actually right now we're not quite sure who is winning the World Championships of Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition. So let's go up here. We have the Frozen Armin. Hello, we haven't actually been in touch yet. I see you're playing Lizardmen. Hi there. This is the internet coming to see you in deployment. Some cross-the-gores going down. How's the event been?
Pretty great. Actually, I got 20-0 last game, so I'm not going to complain.
So it might be that you guys are playing for the World Championship right now.
World Championship, yeah.
This is it. This is for all the marbles. We have this beautiful Frozen army, which absolutely dummied the, I guess, vampire counts, the Sylvanians, and he sang a few bars for us. Has he sung yet for you?
No, but I expect a lot of singing in this game. He seems very poised for it. Yeah.
Well, I see that salamanders are good in literally every edition. I suppose they...
Yes. It's basically pew-pew, and you die. Yeah.
Well, pew-pew, you die. Pew-pew, Val, get the hell off the screen because, well, we need to see what happens here on the top table, so I'm going to get out of the way.
Thank you very much to, I mean, like Accidental said in the chat, finally, we can get rid of this 40k silliness and get back to Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
Really the only thing that ever mattered in my life.
Yeah, exactly. But while we're waiting for Warhammer Fantasy Battle to get the resurgence to the thousands of person events it once had, we will be covering these 40k matches at Capital City Bloodbath. 4 players with a shot at the title. It's pretty exciting. This is Sam Procopio with Francois playing his Tyranids. In the Tyranids' first turn, they moved into the mid-board pretty conservatively,
yes.
Like in the very bottom, just behind that L. And then as you can see, the Blood Angels did the same. They fanned out, though, a little bit more. They've got Sanguinary Guard on the left and the right flank, and then they've got those Land Speeder Storms. One's a Storm, sorry, one's just a Land Speeder, I think.
Correct, yeah.
And then, although I really don't know the difference, but either way, they've got the opportunity to move down like we're seeing now. And the Tyranids in their second turn didn't seem to move much again.
No, so Francois played very conservatively here. Conservatively here. The big thing that Francois did was he denied all of Sam's primary on turn 2. So if we go back to the top down just briefly, we'll cut back to the camera in a second. What Francois did was he only really gave Sam one easy target. He shoved his Tyranid warriors up here. There were 3 eliminators that Sam had put on this objective. He charged, killed them, and then he piled in and consolidated so that he had 3 Tyranid warrior models on this objective, which matched Sam's 3 models. He had the objective and shut it off for him. So Sam only held 1 coming into his turn. It's a 0 for Sam. Sam's now going to put on the some of the aggressive big boy pants. He's moved the Sanguinary Guard up to get a good 3 to 4 inch charge on these warriors. He has this other set of Sanguinary Guard here if necessary. He's brought his Landspeeder Storm down, and the Landspeeder Storm had 5 scouts in it, as it now has to have, which have come down into Francois' deployment zone so he can start scoring his Relentless Assault points. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the other Landspeeder come down to see if it can pick off something. I think that's what Francois is kind of looking at, to see what options he has if he comes over here, what is in this little space that he can try to take down. The Death Company have come out to play. Sam has measured a 6-inch charge into the green warriors. Keep in mind they do have Catalyst, so Francois feeling a little more comfortable about them dying. I wasn't sure if Sam would go this route, but he's kind of mathed it out. He feels like if he can pick up 4 or 5 of those warriors, he'll be super happy with that. And Death Company, if he wants to spend the CP, can be a little harder to kill. So we see the Eliminators pop back up on top of here. Now they can move, shoot, move. They do have Las Fusils on them, so 3 damage per shot. He can pick up warriors with that. Yeah, this is a pretty comfortable spot for Sam. Here we see that Landspeeder come up to this flank. I don't think he's looking for any angles this time. It's
really
more positioning
big
for the next turn.
Move here, isn't it? Like, he's really just creating space for himself to envelop his army if he wants to.
Creating space, forcing Francois to make some decisions, because if Francois wants to spend any resources to take that out, it's more resources than that Landspeeder is worth to Sam.
Amazing. I love this. I love to see. This is going to be for the final, for the win, this is an incredibly thrilling game.
It really is.
There's lots. I love games with big movement. I love games like we haven't seen. What's also interesting, and I'm going to compliment Francois to heaven now, is that Francois is playing a completely different game to what he saw play the game before, and that to me makes me realize that he knows how to pilot his army. He's not just driving an army. Like, he's moving. He's doing something very different to what we saw previously.
So Sam getting 23. Can we go to the secondaries? Was Francois unable to take that primary? He must have been. No, okay. It's just reversed. That's 23 for Francois. In my mind, I thought it went the other way. Okay, that is exactly what should have happened. So 10 points on primary for Francois last turn.
Isn't it interesting he hasn't just yeeted it in compared to what he did previously?
Yeah.
Like, he just did that the turn before. He knew he had to shut the Harlequin down. He knew he had to control the board space. Yep. But like you said at the start, that would be a massive mistake to do the same. No. And instead, he's now tailoring his playstyle to match the threat before him, and I think that's interesting. Sam playing similar to how we saw him play previously.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, giving respect to those threat ranges available.
Now, the other big thing here from Sam and Francois is, once again, Sam shut down Francois' psychic interrogation. So that's 2 turns in a row.
Wow, 6 points.
Where Francois is now only maxing at a 9, which is big for Sam. He wants to keep those secondary points low wherever he can. Yeah, let's cut to the other table and see what's going on, because this is really only going to be important once the fight phase begins.
Yeah, so we've got the Tyranid warriors at the top is basically what we find. Okay, so back here, Hamza versus Jeremy. In the very first turn, Jeremy moved up with his Imperial Knights. He had 2 armigers on the left-hand side next to that Errant, the Errant, on the kind of left-center objective. And then Hamza then moves right into the middle with all of those Harlequins, and then he unloaded, and he only killed the 1 armiger. Only killed the one.
And then he ended up having to force. He did end up having to throw his Troop Master into the other armiger and hope to kill it, but whiffed.
Wow.
Only did an additional 4 wounds to the armiger, so it has 4 wounds remaining. That Troop Master is hanging out in the open. That Troop Master is -1 to hit, so the armiger is hitting it on 5s in close combat. I don't even believe Jeremy bothered to move it away because he's just going to charge it with the Errant if he absolutely needs to. He did pop calculated targeting, though, with the Crusader. He got 2 6s on the Thermal Spear, so he's absolutely wiped out, had to have wiped out at least 1 boat, if not 2. So we just heard you were bigging this up, the big thermal cannon, and that's right, and it rolled 12 shots. No, so the big thing with the thermal cannon was he got 2 6s to wound, so that was every wound he did was a mortal on that instead of regular damage.
So he just did 12 mortals.
So he basically popped 12 mortals onto the list. He blew up. It blows up 2 of Hamza's Star Weavers.
That's crazy.
So that's really big news for Jeremy, because like we saw with Eric, when you whiff on those Star Weavers, if you only kill them in close combat, now Hamza has 20 little boys with 4-up invuln saves just flopping around, making jokes, taking all your objectives away from you, and ruining your life.
And he's still got charges to come in as well.
Yeah, he still has now. Hamza has done a better job in this game, at least, of like blocking off the charge lanes. So that's pretty crazy. Although we did just have 3 troop die when that last Star Weaver exploded, not exploded, but died. So Hamza not happy about that with 3 1s. Still, though, Jeremy needs to remove this if he wants to get like decent charges off. Hamza's still not in a terrible position, but
no, because we saw him lose some boots. Some boots. I've been in Canada for too long. We saw him lose some boots earlier, like in the previous game. But of course, he wants to get rid of as many as possible. Does Jeremy?
Yeah, and now Jeremy's trying to finish off the troop unit up here with this Helverin that he's shoved up the board.
Ooh, okay, that's pretty exciting. I like the Helverin play.
This looks really good for Jeremy. This is a very excellent play. He's effectively in control of 4 objectives right now that Hamza's going to have to deal with. This is a really good block off that he's performed. Yeah, and then I'm assuming in the charges this errant is going to finish off this troop master. Might ignore him completely, but I doubt it. Yeah, so he is throwing everything into the troop master to try and remove it.
Okay, so this was the charge phase. Shooting phase over. We're in the charge phase.
Are we done the shooting phase? Let's get a.
Is this the shooting that they're shooting into it?
Or is he shooting into close combat?
Shooting into close combat.
He's just shooting into close combat.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he wants to try and free up. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but I think with a good enough charge, he can go into those boats with the.
He probably can finish those off as well. With the errant.
Yeah. Yes, that would be really good.
The Reaper Chainsword will pick both of them up with even like moderate rolls.
I think that would be good. Like that would put him in a decent position. But the thing is, as we've talked about previously, you pop those transports, out comes the danger. The danger then bites you. Yeah. That's how I always feel. I always think transports a lot like a lovely honeybee. Kind of what's it called? Nest. Yeah, you're like, oh, look at that delicious honey, and you crack it open, and it's danger. So nothing but danger.
The other big knight now shooting into the remaining boats. He may be able to blow up one of them here again, but we're getting a lot of 4-ups on the invuln saves on these Star Weavers. So, because if he can kill these two, actually the Crusader hadn't shot. He put calculated targeting on the Paladin, even smoother.
Wow. Let's listen into the players, shall we, and see how how this game is going.
Failed. I'll use a luck again.
So he takes 3 damage.
So I used 2 of them.
So he's down to 1 wound.
That's exactly correct.
Let's go with this Helverin over here.
Yep.
He is going to put Stubbers into the boat because it's got 1 wound left, so why not?
Yep.
And autocannons into the 5-man troop.
Okay.
So into the boat, 4s. 1 hit. 4s to wound because I have +1 to wound.
Cool.
1 wound.
Good.
Okay. And then the autocannons, 43 shots. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Let's go, Jeremy.
4s.
It's a lot of shots on those.
Oh, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I apologize for all these autocannons.
2s.
This
there's
5. There's a Star Weaver with 1 wound remaining.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's dead.
+1 to wound,
4
so
guys.
2s.
So that's going to be the lead. And we're just going to leave the red guy. That's a fusion pistol.
So this was into the troop, so he only has 1 troop remaining. 4 1s on the invuln saves.
This guy here, he's just going to put everything into that last boat. So Stubbers, 4s.
Let's
1
see
hit,
what happens.
4 to wound because +1 to wound. Nope. Autocannons, 43. 2, 3. 9 shots.
This was a really good shooting
to
phase
hit.
for Jeremy. So
Yeah,
much
this
damage.
was good, yeah.
4
He
wounds.
leaves Hamza on
Alright,
only
let's send the
2
boat.
Star Weavers.
And the
That's
boat is
not
very
the
dead.
best.
All right, does he explode?
No, that
There
is
it
not
is.
the best.
It
You
is
are
not.
absolutely right.
And that's this one,
So-
right?
Yep.
Beautiful.
So we lose another Star. Down to 2 Star Weavers.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty
so
devastating. And also,
Oh, so there's 3 Star Weavers remaining. I'm just told there's 1 on an objective we can't see.
at the top, at the very top of the board.
screen. Oh, yes, you can kind of make it out here. It's just because of the custom objective markers that Jeremy forced us to use. If we'd had clear objectives, we'd obviously know.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
we would
when
see
you
it.
watch this in post, because I know you do that, I want you to be aware we're mad at you.
Yeah. Okay, so all the guys coming out of the boat now, and again, he was also able to shoot a bunch of the troops inside of it, which is also nice.
Yes.
From the previous transport.
Another 2 die coming out.
How much are Harlequins each? Like 20 points?
Well, because he puts every upgrade he can on them, they're getting close to 25, 30 points a pop.
Wow.
And
wow. So that's 50 points just gone just from disembarking.
Just from disembarking.
Hamza's got to know that that's a tough position he's in now.
But look at his face. Hamza's always happy.
Yes, that's true. Just take a moment to look at Hamza. Like he is like a play. Like
maybe not.
I didn't know we got players. I didn't know we got players this stylish at events. So this is I'm loving this.
I just love his tattoos. That hand tattoo he's got is just incredible.
Okay, so just jumping over back to table 1. We still got the shooting phase to go. We got a charge phase coming in as well. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, and we can come back to that in a quick sec. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So the Death Company. How many wounds did this Death Company put on? It doesn't look like they picked up much, which I didn't expect because Catalyst was up.
So just so everyone knows, this is the second turn for the Blood Angels, and we took this unit of bottom of 2. This is the bottom of 2, and the Blood Angels have charged a unit of 10 Death Company into the Warriors at the bottom.
It was 5 Death Company, so it's the smaller unit, into a block of 9 Warriors that had Catalyst up. I expected 4 to 5 Warriors to die. He managed to kill 3, and another one is wounded. And then, as you saw, the big 5-man blob that had shut down Sam's primary, all the dead, which had to be expected when you have 14 Sanguinary Guard run into your face.
It's quite interesting. He's taken the unit of Sanguinary Guard from the top right-hand side and then brought them over into the center. Whereas previously what we saw, because there's a third unit on the left-hand side.
Right here.
So what we previously saw, we had him kind of like all across the board with those 3 big punchy units, left, center, and right. He's now brought them into the center. And I think that's because he's kind of snuck the speeder on the right-hand side along with the scout squad. And he really wants to make it so that the Tyranids have got to be forced to, am I going to go deal with the speeder on the right-hand side and the squad and clear that off? They're going to really affect my ability to deal with primary later. They're also scoring secondaries. That's really important. And then, but also all of this punch power is in the middle. I like the fact that he's whittled down a small portion of the center as well by feeding. This is nice play. This is good, right?
Yeah, this is good. Like, the thing here, by putting them all here, this was less a strategy play and more of these need to die, and because of that transhuman ability that's just inbuilt to these Tyranid warriors, you sometimes have to overdo it because like dice can fail you, and you would rather like overkill a squad than leave one guy alive to mess up with your life.
Of course.
So how many Death Company were killed here? It looks like not the squad. There was a lot of ones on that wound save on those wounds from the Tyranids.
Oh, wow. Francois is going to want the whole squad to go, so he's got...
So there are 2 Death Company remaining.
Sam's going to be super happy about that, because now he's going to pin that unit in. He's got much opportunity. He's got psychic powers, I guess, to move.
He can try to snipe... he'll have to smite them off.
But that means that a unit of warriors is blocked where it is.
Well, it won't be able to move, which is probably good for Sam. He's going to want that. Smiting them off means that they'll...
Oh, wow, he failed morale.
So 1 guy left. Still, that's all Sam really wanted here. I think Sam would have liked if 1 or 2 more warriors died, but like 3 isn't too terrible.
I can't imagine a Death Company running away. That seems wrong.
It seems very wrong. But it used to be that everything was fearless in this game. It felt like so. Having a little bit of fear.
I mean, a little bit of fear, but I mean, like, of all the things to be fearful, a Death Company Space Marine is not really on the
You're preaching
list.
To the choir.
Yeah,
preaching to the choir. I'm not Paul Murphy. I'm not that much of a BA fanboy, but it feels weird that the raving lunatics that only see Horus in their minds are the ones that are just like, meh, I'm a little too scared now.
Oh no, it's time for me to go home.
That big cockroach has caused me some problems.
Where do they even go? Because the other Marines are not going to be happy that they get I ran away from that one. What? You're dead now. But this has put him in a really good place because he's pinned the warriors in, which means no matter what Francois does, like those warriors are going to be where they are for Sam's following turn. What I like about that, I think is quite engaging, is that it means that if he wants to, he can bring the Sanguinary Guard at the top into charge into them and wipe them out, which makes me feel like Francois has to commit something with his Hive Tyrant, his Flying Hive Tyrant in the middle, and you can see he's already measuring because he knows. Otherwise, because he puts it, then he's just in a bad position because he has to threaten those units at the top.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're going to hit into the kind of like meat at the bottom.
Yeah, and so Sam's kind of explaining which unit, which models are which unit. There's a lot of reasons for this, because if this Hive Tyrant decides to go up and play and he accidentally tags 2 units, It could be the bad because he might not get his runaway chance. There's also this thing here where Sam has the ability to heroically intervene for a CP with one of those Sanguinary Guard units, so Francois has to be concerned about that as well. There's a lot at play with trying to hit the Sanguinary Guard with just that Winged Hive Tyrant. Like, he will pick up Sanguinary Guard, no problem. He's not going to pick up 2 squads, and one of those squads is going to punch him real hard in his little nether bits.
Yeah, I've had this is just a really, really excellent match, and I'm really enjoying this. There's going to be some interesting places. Let's jump back to table. Let's jump to table 2 and let's see, because we'll see what happens with this movement for the Tyranids when we come back. Jumping back to this game, we saw the Imperial Knights in the last turn really start to do a bunch of damage into the Harlequin force that was in the center left of the kind of square-shaped L in the middle, and now we're seeing the Harlequins return fire. I think they lost a lot of resources in that turn. They've got 2 Star Weavers left, one on the left-hand side, one on the right-hand side, but they lost 3 from the middle and a portion of the troops that were inside of them as well. And that's pretty telling.
He lost about 9 troops just from disembarking.
Wow.
Which, he did have 30 in this list, so but it's still not nothing. He did lose an additional 3 or 4 to shots. It was real bad news for Hamza that last turn. It does look like he was able to pick up the armiger that was in combat with his troop master, and I think, look at this. Troop master charged by the big knight errant, still standing, still looks to be at full wounds.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Live or die by a 4+. You're right,
David.
David.
Yeah, you got it.
Live or die by a 4+.
Yeah. So that troop master in the middle fighting a towering Imperial tractor is genuinely hilarious. Like, I absolutely love that.
And there's nothing more so I'm a Custodes player at heart. I do love my Blood Angels too, and that's the only reason why I play Custodes is for matchups like that, where that one Custodian guard stands up to the Imperial Knight and just says, "Not today."
Through all of the danger.
With it being a tiny little clown that's just, he probably just performed for small children maybe 5 or 6 minutes prior to this event even happening.
Yeah.
Pretty big news. I love it.
I think
it's so cinematic.
This is very cinematic. I will say this about 40K forever. I think it's easily the most cinematic game that Games Workshop produced. Like, it's really excellent. There you can see.
Look at that little guy. Just hey.
Because if you don't know anything about 40K,
that.
that's an absolutely great shot to show someone. They're like, what's happening? Well, you see this fellow. He's an elf who believes in a god that laughs so much that he was able to trick another god and not be eaten.
Yep.
And he's fighting against what is effectively a retconned Imperial tractor.
Yes.
And winning.
And at least fighting to a draw.
At least fighting to a draw.
Winning.
At least fighting to a draw.
And I think that's the other troop master now coming in. Hamza, please tell me that's another troop master, not just a regular troop. I would love that. Yeah, I would love to see.
That too.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important to know. So if the big knight does die at the end of the battle round, on a 4+, he comes back to. Did he come back with a certain amount of wounds?
Comes back with 3 wounds remaining.
3 wounds remaining. Okay, that's really interesting as well. So pretty pivotal moment in the game when we do find that out. So that'll be exciting. No wounds currently on that knight, though.
I believe it looks like he's got.
Has he got any wounds?
It looks like he's 5 remaining because if Jeremy counts down. So,
okay. So very different to what I thought. So 5 remaining.
That troop master must have plucked off 6 to 9 wounds off him by himself, because I don't believe it had too many wounds on it before that fight phase. Oh, we're seeing the troop master just decide, you know what, I'm just going to run around to the other side of you.
The troop master still gives reroll wounds, aura, and including himself.
I don't believe he has. If this is the Kegorax Rose troop master, he does have rerolls on to wound on his own weapon. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Okay, that's really going to help.
With a lot of attacks that are damage 3, so he's no slouch into chunking off a big portion of a knight's health.
I think we've seen him actually move out of that combat. So just looking at the Peter Z shot there for a minute, you can see he's actually moved away and out of that combat and into the middle.
Yeah, this is probably. I believe he also has fallback and charge on that troop master. So I think his plan is to just get deeper into Jeremy's lines and cause more havoc that way.
Yeah, I like that idea as well.
Hamza, we saw against Eric, very good at chaos. He's chaos.
Look at that! That is the bravest troop master. Thanks, Tom, for the shot. Appreciate it. That's a brave troop master betwixt 3 Imperial war machines dancing.
Technically, 5 of them surrounding him, and he's just like, okay.
It kind of reminds me of the Techno Viking video. That's exactly
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he's trying to hide his bikes at the moment. We're hearing from the tabletop.
Yeah.
What he wants. Let's listen in. Let's listen in because I think he doesn't want to get shot at the moment. So
yeah, and I think he's given up on that.
Like I think he's like maybe going to
yeah,
here.
you're right. You're right.
I was
looking at the shadow from this, so that's why.
I would love it to go that far.
If only.
If only. We can dream. We're still moving pretty far, though.
Yeah.
It's no complaints. No complaints. 22. Can I fight you from this side of the wall? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I'm right up against the wall.
You're right up against the wall there? Awesome. So I'm going to
If
go.
you're feeling bold, you can.
Feeling bold, you say?
Are they -1 to hit?
They're -1 to
melee?
hit in melee, yes.
Okay.
My whole army is. Harlequins have one way, shape, or form to get it on everything in melee.
Sounds
and
good.
then,
Okay.
so we got all our haywires lined up.
Stiff?
I'm actually going to migrate that one
You're
down
doing
a
great
bit.
work.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
And then last but
I
not
brought
least.
this list because I was tired from the WTC and wanted to run an easy list. No, they don't.
$22. Perfect. All right. I think I'm going to go with it. So that's a 2-man, that's a 2-man, that's a 2-man. So these guys are cuddling each other. We'll put the guys all cuddling each other. How's that, eh?
Sounds good to me.
Since you can't, you might be colorblind and can't tell the sashes.
I am
We go by
colorblind.
colors. We're so fancy. All right, so that's going to put me into Psychic. I'm going to start with the Mental Interrogate. I do get it off, good sir.
Yep, but no
It's going to give me
CP.
3 more points. I don't think it's worth doing another power because I didn't get the CP in return with it.
Yeah, and you have just that precious 1.
Yes.
So as you can see, they're moved into the psychic phase. They've moved over into the far right-hand side. Those those oh my God, the Skyweavers. No, the Skyweavers. No, not even them. But the jet bikes, the bikes, the big space bikes. They've moved in. Yeah, the bike weavers have moved in the bottom right-hand corner, as you can see, lining up a bunch of shots. That plus the the Troop Master has got so many options to do damage into that Imperial Knight bunker. We'll keep listening.
You did
in.
not actually, because you went first, right?
No, I'm going second.
Then
So I only have 1
you're-
left.
Yeah, you have 1 left.
Okay, then that's fine. So I will use it to reroll that wound. Oh, oops.
Nope.
Nope, so it failed.
It's a luck
Thank
roll.
you so much. And then we're going to go with this Troop Master. He hits. Oh, my God.
In the box.
Oh, my. And then the rest of the shots here.
Yep.
2 fusion pistols.
Oh
both
my
failed.
goodness, sounds
2
come
Nerd
on.
Disruptors.
Stop
1 hit.
that.
1 wound at AP3.
5 up.
1
Nope,
damage.
6 up, feel no pain. Nope, he's down to 12.
Cool. And then we got the Plasma Grenade. 4 shots.
Okay, so lots of shots there, but Hamza not rolling
Lots
well.
of 1s and 2s.
Lots
Poor
of 1s
Hamza.
and 2s. Yeah, he's really struggling there to shoot into.
Jeremy's loving it. Jeremy's like, this is the best thing that's
It's
ever
the best.
happened to me.
Keep going, Hamza. Just give it me all. This is great. Currently, score looking pretty good as well. Pretty healthy for
Pretty
Jeremy.
healthy.
Pretty
Oh,
healthy. 40 points, 13. Hamza needs to drag a bunch of points back. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're seeing those haywire bikes on that right-hand side shooting into
Shooting
the knight.
backwards.
Yeah, shooting backwards onto that knight because I think he did try to clear it with the units
He
around
tried to
it.
kill it with the troops here and whatever's here and failed miserably. So now he's got to put the haywire in to hope to clear it because in an ideal world, this troop squad deals with this knight and then all of this can pick up this area.
Wow, so 1 for damage, 1 for D3 mortal wounds. So in a turn where he really needed a lot of output, it spiked quite badly.
Yeah, so
I
he's
mean,
now got to put another squad of bikes into that hell. It's just that's not good.
that's not good at all. Because those bikes are great for dealing with vehicles.
Oh, and
when
Jeremy's
they roll
saving
the
everything.
dice. Yeah, when they roll the dice, but he is not rolling the dice at the moment.
No.
That's the major problem that we're seeing.
That's a real sad fate here. I don't think Jeremy's in a real good position because now all of these bikes are in just the worst possible spot, given that not very much died.
Not at all. This is very interesting. This feels like it's going to be a game about dice. This is what this one feels like.
Yeah, and I think we saw, if we go to the other table, a bit of a mistake on Sam's part that Francois is loving.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So let's just keep you updated with what happened on table 1. We've seen pretty conservative play from both players dancing around as we go into this turn, but we did see a unit of Death Company, well, sort of unit of Tyranid Warriors charge into the top center, take out a unit of, I think it was Intercessors in the middle.
It was Eliminators, yes.
It was Eliminators to grab that objective. Then the retort from those Sanguinary Guard, you can see at the top, wiped them out. Also, a unit of Death Company charged into the bottom and killed, I think, three of
Tyranid
the
warriors.
Tyranid warriors
Yep.
at the bottom. Then that left us with the Tyranids to go first, and as you can see, they've aggressively unpacked. Tyranid warriors on the left, Hive Tyrant in the center, and then Tyranid warriors on the far right, going after that speeder, splitting the army up, which I kind of think the speeder's job was to do.
Exactly. So, well, it wanted to get those relentless assault points. So this Tyranid warrior unit here moved over, killed the scouts just now over here, and now he's going to be picking off damage. The bit of mistake that we saw Sam make was when he positioned the Sanguinary Guard, he wanted to do it in such a way that if anything came to charge the Sanguinary Guard, he could heroic with the other unit, and just like overwhelm whatever did it. However, he left enough space here, it seemed, at least as Francois, so they're going to remeasure it to be sure, where if Francois made the charge into this corner because of that 2-inch engagement, that Sam wouldn't be able to get the full heroic in with his models and tag that Hive Tyrant with very many guard at all. So Francois is going for it because this gives him the shot to wipe out a Sanguinary Guard squad effectively for free and run away if he manages to kill all 7. This is the Hive Tyrant with the Reaper of Obliterac, so he does do mortal wounds. He's going to be sitting on. He did spend a CP to get 3 additional attacks on this, get D3, but he rolled a 3, so he's going to have, I believe, 10 attacks going into this Sanguinary Guard squad.
Wow. Hitting
on 2s, re-rolling 1s, if I'm not mistaken, and then wounding on. Oh, hitting on 3s, yes, because Sanguinary Guard do have their scary masks. So we'll see how many Sanguinary Guard he's able to pick up.
So
here.
again, Pete, the mistake, so I'm super clear on it. What we're saying is Sam got his Sanguinary Guard slightly too close or not close enough.
He put them a little too close to this wall.
Okay.
And because of that, like 2-inch. So he was a little too close to this wall, so he was able to kind of pinch in here, and the secondary Sanguinary Guard squad, which normally would have been able to heroically intervene in, couldn't get within range. Sam decided to use the heroic intervene strat anyway to get more onto this objective, to just give him a little extra movement so he can come down and deal with this. But he's picked up 5 Sanguinary Guard, and it looks like there's 5 mortal wounds
to go through as well.
Now, there is a question here about if he's allowed to take Feel No Pains, because Reaper of Obliterax normally wouldn't allow you to do that, but in WTC, it does. So the players are discussing like which ruling they're going to. We may see a judge come over to see. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole. Don't worry, that's fine. Like I'm sure the players can work out between themselves. I think they're going to be.
So I think they're doing a dice roll on a 4-up. They're allowed to, or whatnot. Or a 4-up, they weren't. We're going to see him pull, looks like most of the squad here. Okay. Oh, no, that's what happened. So he needed a 6 to save one of the squad, and he rolled his 2-6. Yeah, he needed a 6 to save one of the models, and he rolled a 6. So 1 Sanguinary Guardsman remains. I believe that means Francois cannot run away now from the close combat, which is kind of what he wanted to do.
Because you have to wipe the unit out. That's huge. So
that's really big.
So he's done his charge in. He's been able to kill 6, but a double 6 save meant that 1 Sanguinary Guard stays. Amazing, which means that unit can't teleport away.
He cannot tell. He has to stay there. Francois.
Oh my God! Exciting.
The look on Francois' face is one of both glee and sadness. You can see it in his eyes. He's like,
that means he's gonna get slapped by the other unit of Sanguinary Guard next turn. Okay.
Oh, and that Sanguinary Guard punched back and did 4 wounds to the Tyrant already. So,
wow, that's pretty good. He's going to be really happy. Don't forget, there's another unit of Sanguinary Guard in the top left-hand corner, and there's that unit.
And there's another one here. Yeah, there's one here. There's one here. He still has Assault Marines that are in deep strike. He does have this Land Speeder just hanging out that can go literally anywhere. So we're going to get our scores for that turn. A big play for Francois. Also a bit of luck on Sam's side in that Hive Tyrant is now
in order to win the top, win the title, you've got to get the luck as well.
But you know what? This isn't terrible for Francois at all. This isn't the game ending. It's just he loses a big tech piece in his army. He's still got 18 warriors hanging out. 17 warriors left on the board.
Yeah, I mean,
and another Hive Tyrant.
I mean, it's just one of those really engaging moments that occurs, and actually maybe when you go back and replay the tapes, you think actually that was the moment when things happened right now, because it's live, we have no idea what the result is going to be. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think that's going to be really nice for Sam and a little bit disappointing for Francois, but we'll see whether or not it affects the game overall.
There must have been something they forgot because they're rolling a ton of dice here.
We'll just make sure we find out what that is.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
I was going to say,
so
that was clearly going to
speeder.
always happen.
Yeah.
Shoot the scout squad and charge charge
Sam
that.
just let him take it. Like, it's not a big deal. It was something they just completely forgot. Sam, both these players, excellent sportsmanship. So, like, when Francois said, hey, I forgot to do that, Sam's like, I don't care. Just go ahead.
Do your charge.
That's exactly what should have happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what I should have done. But one of the things that really happens when you get hyper-focused on what you're seeing in the center there is, with that, is you end up having such a techie conversation about what you can and can't do.
Yes.
Then you're like, okay, now I'll do the thing. Now I'll do the thing, which is a bit much. And look at those players just having a nice time. So big
look
wave.
At old Francois.
Hello.
I said I would never call him that again, but I'm gonna.
Big wave to him.
Only because Val hates it. So let's cut back over to our other game, 37-26, much closer game now.
Now what we've got is we're in the Harlequins fight phase, and as you can see, we did lose our armature at the top of the board, so that was kind of in that center
what
ruin.
We missed was there was finally a fusion pistol shot that went through and did full 8 damage to that armature and took it down.
Okay. Oh, and now we're seeing what we're seeing attacking to the bikes. Oh, we're seeing the knight going into the
Knight's
bikes.
close combat now.
Wow. Okay, so this is still the Harlequins' turn. It was their close combat decision to charge the bikes in. Interesting. Maybe to eat up the Overwatch so they could also charge in an additional unit.
Maybe for the Troop Master, yeah.
Yes.
We'll get a little update here to see exactly what's in combat with these knights.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be the Troop Master. I think the boats went in, took the Overwatch. That's really clever. That's very... Oh, no, not yet.
I guess we're just going to see silence.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so...
the Bastard Helm Armiger took 2 wounds.
Did the Troop Master go into the large knight? Please and thank you. That's the question we kind of want answered. The Troop Master went into Bastard Helm. There we go. We can see him at the bottom. But, that's the same thing, basically. There we go. Oh, at the back.
Yeah, so
wow.
he's gone all the way back. So we see, every one of these knights has taken some kind of damage. Not a lot, though.
But enough.
And it means Jeremy's going to have to reposition a lot if he wants to actually get, effective shooting in. He's already suffering -1 to hit against a lot of this stuff. We're seeing more wounds coming off from that far armature, probably from these bikes probably charged into it here. Hamza's doing whatever he can to pen Jeremy in. That's what this is about, is to keep Jeremy down here so that he can kind of try to hold him a little bit off on his primary. That would be my guess, is this plan right now.
He really does not want people to score points. That's Hamza's whole trick, right?
Well, especially when he's down 27.
Oh,
okay.
so the knights on the far-hand side have gone down to the bikes. Both players are having lost a lot of resources, but now we're down to
But Jeremy's 2 biggest resources are still heavily in play.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
And Hamza lost a lot in that opening, so the second round of shooting. Losing all but 2 of his boats was huge. I believe he's down to 1 boat now by the looks of things, so it's not... The armature, the Bastard Helm Armager, which is not known for close combat, brought the Troop Master down to 2 wounds just from poking him with his autocannon, not even shooting it, just bonking him on the head.
Bonking him on the head, how dare you?
Get away from me.
Yeah, why are you here? That makes sense, though. If anyone's going to bonk a Troop Master on the head, it's a Bastard Helm Armager.
Well, especially after a Knight Errant failed to do any damage to it. Or Knight Paladin. It just makes sense that it's the shooty Knight that's going to be okay, get away from me.
I really love that it's just bikes battling against robots at the moment. This is quite funny.
The bikes have made all their saves as well in that close combat. So, really good for Hamza there, because that was a pretty ballsy play to shove all of those bikes right into Jeremy's face. The fact that he lost so little on that charge has got to be big for him. It's left this Paladin kind of all alone up here.
Don't forget Jeremy looking like Hamza, obviously looking for the big win, puts him in striking distance of being able to win the event.
Yes.
So either Hamza or Jeremy hoping for maybe a draw between our table 1 players.
Yes. A draw on the table 1 would be amazing for Jeremy because it would put him in a great shot. Also amazing for Hamza because then he just has to pull off a win. But on our other table, like, I don't think this is going to be a drawed matchup. These guys are playing for keeps.
This is bloodthirsty. They're playing to win, and it's very bloodthirsty. We haven't yet seen the Blood Angels movement. We're now into the Blood Angels movement in response to that aggressive Tyranid play. We've got all those Tyranid warriors on the bottom left-hand side, center, and on the far right-hand side, kind of like dominating the board. Hive Tyrant in the middle, waiting to take some slap back from that unit of Sanguinary Guard in the center and on the left-hand side. So I think we're going to see some. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good
I feel like this is going to be bloodbath time. The key will be, does that Neuro Throw 4+ invuln get popped? Is Sam prepared for that? Like, is his librarian in position to null zone it if that's the case? And we may actually see Sam hold back one more turn. Although in turn 3 it'd be a pretty ballsy play. I really do think he has to put some kind of pressure now on Francois.
So table 2 is just getting the score updated now. So
this is definitely a long movement phase for Sam. He's real like.
This has to be like what I like about Sam's playstyle is his playstyle is very movement orientated. Like he's conscious of where he's going. I think he split the board, so he put the land speed on the far right hand side earlier with his scout squad, and I think he scored him some points, but I think he also was really, really sensible and smart. And what he did was he split the Tyranid force. Yeah. He's made them go wide, which is good because I think the Tyranids going ham into the Blood Angels going ham into the Tyranids
would have fed right into Francois.
Would have fed into his, so he needs to pick out each piece piecemeal. And honestly, I think that the Blood Angels don't have as many like punchy units as the Tyranids do. So actually, because like you trade Sanguinary Guard for a Tyranid squad, and then a Sanguinary Guard for another Tyranid squad, and you third, and they've still got the Hive Tyrant, they've still got probably another Tyranid squad as well. So
really, this like Sam, he's got his hands behind his head. He's really trying to pin this out. The big thing's going to be like how he uses these 2 Sanguinary squads. Does he take this instead of putting this Sanguinary squad into the Hive Tyrant, which would be like the simple play for a lot of people? Does he take it down here instead and clear these warriors, and then have this Sanguinary Guard squad come down here? And then use his characters to finish off this Hive Tyrant. That's a potential play for him. He does have this unit of Assault Marines that have come down here to get him his relentless assault points. They can back up any squad that hits this large block as well. So that's a play. And like we're hearing from the table boss, Sam is basically going through every iteration of a possibility. It's if I take these Sanguinary Guard here and they kill 6 guys, that's perfect. If they kill 3, I'm in trouble. If I put these guys over here and I wipe the squad, and then you come at me with your Tyrant Guard and I lose them, that's bad news. Like it's. The thing about going into an army like this that is essentially all transhuman, they all have that ignoring wounds on a 1, 2, or 3 roll against the Blood Angels that get a bonus to wound as their primary ability, is it really messes up your math, right?
Yeah,
Units that should just delete another squad don't do that anymore.
And it's force. Like we talked about with the 4-up invulnerable saves in the Harlequin match. Like you roll. I know there's averages and maths, and that probably should be something we discuss a lot. But ultimately, 4s are either going to absolutely win you the game or absolutely fail.
Yeah, I think it was David or something said earlier, you live or die by the 4+. That's like the custodian model. It's the Harlequin motto, and
now it's the transhuman model. Yeah. Like so, like I think that's also because it's a DPS check with a little bit of a bonus, spicy. I really like Francois' list. I don't know if this is something that people are playing a lot at the moment.
It is. Like I said. Like the main thing is that you often see like harpies or something else in it there, but any Swedes in the finals? No, the only Swede here is the Swede in my heart.
Yeah, there
were some Team Sweden
jerseys,
but those were all stolen at the WTC, as Canadians do.
The Canadians actually said that the Nordics were their favourite people to actually play Warhammer against.
And take their things.
And also take their things, yeah. Okay, so it looks like that Sanguinary Guard on the left-hand side are moving into the middle as well.
So he's going for the guaranteed kill. He wants to guarantee he kills this Hive Tyrant. So they're going to come in here.
Are we seeing a multi-charge? Because I feel like with the interrupt, that's a problem, right? Like, that's going to be a major issue. So he took the other unit of Sanguinary Guard in the middle. He's pushed them, like, forward,
so
like you say.
So they can come down here for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, like, looking at the board state, I think Sam just struggles so much. Like, can I just shout out to my good friend Nick in the chat? Hope you're well. Love you to pieces. He says Tyranid Warriors are so efficient for their points. So you were saying, sorry, that this is played a lot?
Yes, a list of similar variety, oftentimes running 7 or 8 less Tyranid Warriors so they can get Harpies or some other tech piece into the list.
Oh, okay.
So Sam has asked if the Hive Tyrant can fight on death. He was informed that yes, he can. He would be on bottom bracket when he does so, but because of the stratagems and everything, he could still get himself up to a respectable 7 or 8 attacks. So Sam's changing some things up. Francois has gotten a couple takebacks from Sam. Francois is letting him do the same in terms of like what he's going to put in the Hive Tyrant. You're seeing the characters that he had sent up are going back because he doesn't want to lose like a centerpiece model in this army to the Hive Tyrant, thrashing around in his death throes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really important that he maintains as many resources as possible. Because my personal opinion, from a board read, I think that actually that looks very, very daunting. Personally, when up against all of those Tyranid Warriors, like honestly, just looking at it, like you're like, wow, that is a lot that they've put on the board. I know that you're paying a lot for those Sanguinary Guard as well because they're just so effective.
Yes, they're very efficient.
They're mobile and they're effective. Oh, sorry. Okay, well, while we see how he does finally move all these units around, let's just pop back to table 2 and see what's happening here. As you can see, we were able to get our 2 big knights still out of the combats.
Yeah, they fall back for free, so they just kind of wandered away. Like, we're going to do our own thing, and we're still going to kill you. Jeremy's still pretty comfortable, I would assume, in this position. But Hamza, like we said, Chaos Incarnate has definitely at least forced Jeremy to make some decisions here.
And now we're into the shooting phase. Okay, can he delete? He's got a lot that he needs to get rid of. A lot. But I feel like he's got the tools. Okay, so in the bottom left-hand corner, the bastard Helmhelvrin into a troop master who's already survived a fight with a knight errant.
Sitting on 2 wounds right now.
Sitting on 2 wounds. He fought a knight errant, didn't die, ran away, charged into the bastard Helm guy, didn't kill him, and then took 3 wounds, and now has been shot by that same
Helvrin and used up all the luck dice he had remaining at the time to stay alive. So he took 8 autocannon shots with +1 to wound to the face and just said, no,
I don't want any of this.
Not today.
Not this. Not today.
Not today, Satan.
So at the very bottom of the board, 1 troop master with nothing left to live for but murder is fighting against the bastard Helmhelvrin. And actually, that's a really nice way to kind of end the event. That's a really nice moment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a super nice moment. I think the Harlequins really give you nice moments like that on the tabletop.
Yes.
Like they really do. I think we might have. There he is. Look at him. Look at this. This is amazing. That's so good. I absolutely love that.
And if we cut back to the top down just real quick, I mean, that is beautiful. We see all of 1 bike squad picked up by the Avenger Gatling cannon here on the Crusader. So 1 gun picks up all of those bikes. There's still 2 remaining from this other squad. Not good for Hamza. Hamza would have liked to have had at least 1 remaining.
Okay, that's all the shooting done. Okay, not tons of damage done, really.
Oh, but there's not a ton of models left. I mean, there's probably stuff hiding because troops are so small, but...
Yeah. Okay, so
we're seeing the Paladin charge into the Star Weaver and probably the Death Jester, the Death Jester that's on top. That's a very light charge. We get that light CP going, so the I wonder which one he's going to move when he's more. Is it the boat or is it the sniper? If he moves the boat properly, the knight might just not even be able to get into it. So it'd be an interesting play if that's what he goes with. Like he could put it in such a way that the knight can't get around the Death Jester. That would be I'm curious.
Either way, the troops in the middle are going to be. Thank you to Nurgle Matthew.
Oh, so what he's looking to see is if he can 6-inch move to the other side of the knight. Okay.
Okay.
Which would force the knight, if he charges, to not be on the objective. I get it. I see his play. So. Yeah, so what he's doing here is he's chosen to spend a CP to shift so that the knight cannot hit the Death Jester as well. He can only hit the boat. So good play by Hamza. He must want that Death Jester to survive, and he's doing everything he can to force it.
Interesting match. By the way, we are into the charge phase on table 1, and as you can see, the Sangrew Guard in the center did charge into the Hive Tyrant. However, we haven't seen any other charges. That Sangrew Guard in the middle moved back, and I don't think we haven't seen. So there's 2 left. There's one that was reduced down to 1. There were 3 big bricks at the start. 1 reduced down to 1. 1 is now at the back, a piece of terrain there, and then our other unit is in the middle. And this is my problem that I see, Falcon. The bolters.
So the bolters from the Sanguinary Guard have killed the Hive Tyrant, put 4 wounds on him. That's amazing. That's really big for Sam because now these Sanguinary Guard are freed up.
I was going to say
this
squad
that doesn't have Catalyst any longer.
That is so good because now he can. Because before I was like, he's going to trade into the Hive Tyrant, die to the Warriors.
Well, it's also why he positioned this land speeder where he did, because he could put a Melta into it.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why he obviously brought it over. I think that's great. So now the Sanguinary Guard go in, hopefully to that big brick of green Tyranid warriors.
Yep. And now he's got his last Fusils on the go from this remaining squad to try and soften that unit up. I'm not I get it. I think
I would do something else. I would like.
I mean, it makes his charge harder, but he does get that bonus to movement. Okay. Sam's choosing to pull from his back instead. He must have a plan. Oh, I bet it's to try and block off the Sanguinary Guard from getting too deep in his lines. So
they should. That unit of 7 should delete the unit of green warriors, right?
It will, and then it'll get deleted in return. But it's good for.
That's kind of what I mean. Like the Sanguinary Guard go into the greens. That's why I would be shooting something else. Oh.
So these are the Assault Marines in the back. So they managed to get into the back. What's in that back? Is that the Biovore or is that the Tyranid Prime?
Yeah, what's in the back? Can we get an update, please?
There's something in there. It's either Biovore or Tyranid Prime. Oh, a Zoanthrope's back there. That's good. That's one less.
Oh boy, he's about to be a Noanthrope. That's what he's about to be.
Yeah, I mean he's got a Lightning Claw in that unit and a lot of chain swords, and really just want to put mass attacks into that Zoanthrope.
Our Assault Marines are in. Assault Marines, Falcon, common.
They had not been for the longest time, but very recently we've seen Stephen Box pull them out, and we've seen Sam start to use them because it's a very cheap junk pack unit. It's great for if you're using that for a Pawn Wings of Fire. It's great for the Blood Angel secondary that you score if you deep strike in and kill a unit. Because they're so cheap that you get your Relentless Assault off with them. You don't mind leaving them in deep strike for a few turns. Yeah, they're a really great tech piece that Sam's been using for a decent amount of time. Yep.
Okay,
so we should see all of these Tyranid warriors die. I think Francois is debating if he puts the 4+ invuln on them or not. And he's chosen not to. So he's just going to accept that they're dead and that he's going to be able to kill those Sanguinary Guard in return. Sam just has to be happy that the bolters were the only thing that he needed to kill that unit, because it really means that he's going to delete this whole squad.
Let's have a look, see how the players are doing in this match. Like, see how they're.
Let's hear them.
There's going to be a lot of attacks. Oh.
Yep. I missed with like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then wounding you on force. Oh my god. Come on, dice. Help me out. Force. That was a lot of force.
Yeah.
So it's 3.
See, that's why you don't do it.
6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17. That moves out of your way.
16, 17. So have you ever seen someone roll 17 5-ups, Sam?
Today will be the day. Yeah, your way. There you go.
They're very dead.
Oh, my Lord.
That was not even a good roll.
Jesus, Mother of God.
Yeah.
Mother Mary Joseph. Okay.
Sorry.
Well.
The remainder of that squad's been picked up. Really good roll on the wounds, really poor roll on the saves. Francois was pretty sure they were dead anyway. We'll have to see how this goes. Sam, secondaries, we can pop them up for you guys. He took Relentless Assault. He took no prisoners, which we're going to find out at the end of the game, and he took Retrieve Nephilim data. So Sam's really looking here to clear enough of the board in this turn that next turn he can start maxing out his Nephilim data points. Relentless Assault, he has these piecemeal units that he can kind of do what he wants with to keep scoring that 4. And that's another reason why he wants to keep Francois out of his back line. So if we cut back to the table, he's going to get another 4 this turn because of those Assault Marines that hit that Zoanthrope. And he's put himself in a really good spot. I mean, that Sanguinary Guard squad is probably dead. For Sam now, it's more about how many resources is Francois going to commit to them. And will he have to commit to them? Because the more he commits, the easier the easier he's going to have when he sends the Sanguinary Guard squad down for the next turn.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's going to be the major issue. I think he wants to lose. I think he wants to lose none of those. Okay, well, while this game is exciting, we're going to find out what's happening in the rest of Capital City Bloodbath. It's been a really, really exciting weekend, and I'm excited to see what Val has got from the rest of the event in this multi-system event. Over to him right now.
Thank you very much, Rob. Excellent throw. Actually, Val Heffelfinger going to take a time out here. So we have a local author, J.D. Mitchell. He's been here, self-published a novel, and I just really want to give you a chance to share a little bit of your story for the stream.
Great, thanks, Val. I've been watching your footage. It's really professional, very slick, so it's good. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, said COVID pandemic's happening. I guess I'll be a writer then. But you actually, put it together and crafted a novel and are publishing it. What made the difference for you?
Well, it started pre-pandemic. The book started as a short story, and basically taught myself to write by writing this, and worked with a lot of established writers and hired an editor. I just turned what was a story that was in my head that I couldn't get out of my head, just had to get down on paper. It just took a life of its own and became a novel. So
that's amazing. So if there are any aspiring writers out there, what do you say the most important thing for them to do is if they wanted to actually get to a nice manuscript?
It's persistence. You got to put yourself out there. You've got to roll with the punches. You're going to get a lot of negative feedback. You're going to fail a lot. In terms of writing, if you're starting with short stories, if you're putting chapters out there, wherever you're putting out your work, you're going to get a lot of harsh feedback. But you gotta realize that people are trying to help you, and you just roll with it. And you need an attitude of constant improvement. And
little Kaizen.
Yeah, as long as you stick with that, you'll get there. And it's going to take a lot longer than you think. It'll probably take years, but you'll get there.
Amazing stuff. Now, just before we move on with some more silly updates, just very quickly, what's your book? Quick synopsis for the audience.
Yeah, no, it's a dark fantasy coming of age. It's got a dual storyline. So our main character, Haskell, he's your old school fantasy protagonist. He's tall, he's strong, he's good looking, he has lots of money, but he sort of hates his life. He's raised by some shady merchants. So he runs away. He wants to be his grandfather, who was this famous pirate turned hero. Runs off to the borderlands to join a guild to become an adventurer. And that's where we meet our second protagonist, which is Froba. She's everything Haskell isn't. She's small, she's skinny, she doesn't have any money. She's trying to stay one step ahead of her the corrupt guard that's working her. And they run into each other, and they just have to decide who are they going to be. And
you got to read the book and see what happens. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Springtide Harvest, J.D. Mitchell. Thank you. Someone in chat has said they got your book. Fantastic. Look at that. Internet advertising works. Unless you stream Warhammer, give us money, you. Anyway, we'll just keep moving along to what everyone is probably interested in. Actually, I'm not sure if you are. Rob, should I keep going, or are you guys back? All right, let's take a quick stroll down here. We'll go say hi to our big Noblar. Here in the World Championships of Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition, we're just coming down the row, a veritable murderer's row. The Noblars are stuck in it with some Warriors of Chaos. A lot of knobs not on the table right now. That's looking good. Over here we have Dan the Ringer. Not doing such a good job ringing on this particular round. He seems to be winning. But that's all right, I guess. Everyone's got to have their moment. Here is our friend the Kid playing Dwarves. And looks like he's mercilessly beating down his opponent. That's nice. And then finally here, some Empire not fleeing in terror. That's good. All right, we got Vampire counts. And then on the final table, what we believe might be the top table, Bretonnians v Lizardmen. And looks like we're just getting stuck into combat. Some pivotal things are probably going to happen. You'll likely be able to read about it on all your major news outlets because this is probably the final update from the Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition World Championships here at Capital City Bloodbath. It's been a goddamn pleasure.
Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting to be looking up Warhammer Fantasy Battle 6th Edition armies on eBay at this event, but it turns out I've been inspired.
Inspired yet again.
Inspired yet again. So welcome back to Capital City Bloodbath 2022. We're in round 6 of 6 rounds, and we have got 2 tables, 4 players with a striking distance of becoming the Capital City Bloodbath 2022 champion. You've got Sam Procopio with his Blood Angels against Francois with his Tyranids. Now, Francois is currently in his turn. Now, this is, and if we've got the scorecard updated and correct, I'm pretty certain this is the beginning of turn 4.
Yes, we're at the beginning of turn 4. We haven't gotten the updated points for Francois yet. He did control, I want to say he controlled 3, so he should have gotten an additional 8 this turn. Mm-hmm. We'll have to wait and see there because there was this Assault Marine squad that had moved on to this objective, and
really
I don't believe anything was objective secured there, so they may have stolen it from him. He may have only gotten a 4. So what we're seeing right now is he did put advance in charge on this squad of Tyranid warriors. So they have advanced. He only rolled a 1 on the advance, and they're up against this crate. He's got about a 7-inch charge to climb over it to hit these eliminators, which is what he wants to do because he wants to take this objective from Sam. It'll score him an additional 2 points on primary because of the mission primary, and it's going to force Sam to have to do something about them. That being said, Sam has lots he can do about them. He's moved his, I believe this is his Venomthropes up here into the middle. I'm going to assume this is to put Always Strike Last on this squad with whatever he decides to hit them with, maybe his Tyrant Guard. He still has this 5-man squad. I'm not sure. He may just leave them on that objective. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, so Sam's now just doing some measuring out. Francois was not happy with that last turn. The Hive Tyrant dying to the Bolter Fire, he was not what he wanted.
Or expected.
He did not expect that at all. He thought lots more resources would have to go in. He also super not pleased with losing the entire Tyranid Warrior block and having the Sanguinary Guard just hanging out there. He thought that the Hive Tyrant would have a little more chutzpah. It did not.
Interesting. It looks like he's elected to, am I seeing this right, that he's moved that Tyrant Guard, Tyranid Warrior brick to the left?
Yes.
Is he going after the Sanguinary Guard? What do you think he's bringing over?
I think he's ignoring, he's either going to ignore the Sanguinary Guard or he's going to do kind of like a string charge to try to grab both of these objectives from Sam. I think he's more likely to go all in and jump over this crate to kill everything on this objective and claim it as his. Because that will probably force Sam down to an 8 at the very most on his primary score. And now we're seeing this Tyranid Warrior squad go up because they're going to munch on one of Sam's back objectives if they can. So that's what they're kind of measuring out now, what the charge is going to be like if they have to come through this wall.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, so Tyranid's got a lot of work to do now. Sam trading up really nicely. I think
that last turn was very big for Sam.
I think one more trade up, and that puts, I currently still think Francois the beatdown.
I do believe Francois is still the beatdown. Another thing to note, there is a Sanguinary Priest in this army, and that squad that Hive Tyrant brought down to 1 model is already back up to 3 from reses. Sam has been resing models.
And he can keep resing it every turn.
So next turn it'll be sitting at 4 models. He had him down to 2 models. We were mistaken, so now it'll be back up to 4 next turn, and then it's a threat again. And Francois does not like that. Francois was really hoping to have deleted that. He could have run away. So many things went wrong for him there on making that what looked to be a real sneaky play into Sam. Really curious to see how this plays out.
Love that.
Like that land speeder is dead in the water. These guys are probably dead, but a 7-inch charge is not a guarantee. So.
No, not at all. Okay, fun. Lots to play for on that table, but I still think Tyranids maybe got it, but Sam's really
tight. This is going to be a tight game right down to the wire.
Yeah, okay.
And then this table.
And I mean, that's what you want for the win, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, even this table, like. Jeremy had such an amazing shooting phase. That one phase we thought Hamza was going to be backlined. But when I went over and talked to them, Jeremy is so frustrated by that Troop Master that's now sitting on 1 wound.
At the back.
On the back, because Jeremy has put so many shots. He's put so much close combat into it. And they're both laughing at the fact that it was the close combat from that one Armiger Helverin that's done the most damage to him.
Like the weakest thing,
The weakest thing in close combat is and heavy stubbers. So it's actually silly. Jeremy up by 20 points right now. It is Hamza's turn. He is putting damage now on the big knights.
Which he's going to put quite a bit of damage. I think the Knight Errant that we're seeing at the top left-hand corner is close to dead. Like, it close to dead. He took a lot of wounds in the previous turns. If I remember correctly, or I'm wrong.
People had said he was down to 5 wounds remaining. We'll have to get an update to be sure if that's the case, because I don't see any dice there anymore, so I'm a little interested in what's going on. It looks like Hamza fire and faded into... No interrupt from Digna, but it looks like Francois fire and faded his Death Jester into one of the Star Weavers. Yeah.
Okay, fun. All right, so resources left that we've got going for Hamza is it looks like he's got 2 Star Weavers, and I think he's got a. Let me just.
Looks
see.
like he does have 2 Star Weavers. He's got 2 troop squads at the very least remaining. Oh, okay, so Errant has only taken 2 wounds. So what I've learned is that Jeremy counts up for some models and down for others.
Perfect.
So let's just be clear, Jeremy. We hate you. Like, I thought I liked you at the beginning, but no. What is this? What is this? How is this watchable? I count down for with some models, count up with others. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't even understand. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So it's the Paladin.
Yes,
it's the Paladin
Paladin.
That's the major problem.
But regardless, stop.
Yes.
Stop, Jeremy. I mean, I walked up and asked him, and he's like, well, it's just too many dice. I don't own that many dice. We play a dice game, Jeremy. You can get bricks of them for $1.
I think he actually doesn't have that many dice. He was telling me earlier he only needs to roll so many dice,
yeah,
and the rest he borrows off his opponent.
Yeah, Jeremy is very succinct, so he knows, like, I only ever roll up to 20 dice on anything. I will only ever own 20 dice.
Yeah, got to shout out Hamza's wristwear.
Oh my God! Everything about Hamza is amazing.
With the production of a lot of dice trays in competitive 40k coverage.
Something Rob hates.
Great opportunity. I don't hate it. I just think you're all weird for wanting to watch it. I think we
love numbers.
Yeah, that's true. I think one of the interesting bits is getting some really good. Can we talk about some great wristwear? Hamza with the kind of bling on there. I know the Hef when he rolls some dice flashes a ring or 2 so people can see it. Which is like a little sparkly ring to let people know he's a fancy man. But great opportunity. No one as of yet, Boxy, if you're listening, shout out. No one yet wearing the kind of the wrist sweat guards that are branded.
Branded wrist sweat
guards.
My wrists sweat all the time. If you guys want.
We should make some.
DoorDash me some. No one has DoorDashed us anything today either.
Why has no one sent us
Why has no one sent us food?
Why has no one DoorDashed? We're at the EY Center in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And we would like you
to
send us.
We had donuts yesterday. I got a care package from the lovely Santiago. Nothing else. This is garbage.
So, yeah, come on, chat.
Come on, chat.
This is the final.
Okay, let's actually talk about the game because I'm sure Chad's just loving our current conversation about why no one sent us food. If we can get an update from Dickie, what's been taking wounds here? We're seeing a lot
of
rolls
going out. That would be a good bit for helping actually saying the words.
We do see a Troop Master trying to take on a Crusader.
Don't worry. Let's take an opportunity to listen to the players. Oh,
This is a silly, silly game.
Are they talking?
So what's in this boat right now?
5 troops.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go luck. I get 3, 4, 6, so I get luck again.
Yep.
Oh, look, it's a Canadian flag. Everyone can see it's a Canada flag. Woo! It rolled perfectly like that.
He goes up to 3. He goes up to 8. He has now only taken 4. He has now only taken 1.
I'd love a Timmy Hortons. I'd love one.
I don't think we need to worry about the big guys
dying. Let's DoorDash it.
No way. There's a reason why I took my to interrogate, because I'm not killing them.
Yep. Where is your...
Pardon me?
Alrighty.
Stop thinking about him. Don't think about him.
Oh, I'm thinking about
He's
him.
like,
all right.
he's not there. It's an
All right, so
optical
this
illusion.
goes away because he's well out of range now.
You can't box it?
He's the Vox guy.
He is the Vox
So
guy.
I could Crusader, but I prefer the +1 to wound on them.
Yeah.
So I go up to 3.
Even though the Troop Master lived through all of that, how annoyed am I that he still died from an explosion like that, eh? He lived through. He had an 8-inch charge. He didn't even need to be within 6. What am I doing?
Both players still taking some time to think through this. I think Jeremy is up against it. There's he's really reduced now to limited resources. He's got to choose those resources wisely and apply them
He's just gonna fall
expertly.
back to here.
Can Jeremy do it? He's a man of numbers, I hear, and maybe he's got the opportunity to bring some of this big damage to bear on.
And what's
again,
inside this?
Hamza's
A single guy and a troop?
Single guy and a Death Chester.
Okay.
That one
limited
guy's
resources. This is the final game, chat. This is for the final. So just to catch you up if you just joined us, Hamza versus Jeremy for the win, basically. No, not Hamza versus Jeremy. Sorry. No. Table 1. Sam and Francois for the win, pretty much. However, all them and Hamza on table 2 undefeated. So we've got 3 undefeated, and then with a draw, so with 4 and a draw, is Jeremy. So Jeremy's really hoping that everyone on table 1 draws, and then he smashes Hamza. At the minute, Hamza isn't even really giving him the opportunity. So just to run you through everything. So table 2, so Hamza, who's also undefeated, is taking Psychic Interrogation behind enemy line, deadly performance, 43 points. However, Jeremy with his Imperial Knights, who has got the draw, so hoping to beat Hamza and hoping table 1 is a draw, has got Honor the House, Yield No Ground, and Renew the Oaths, and is currently up on points, 55 to 43. But Hamza hasn't scored on table 4 yet. Then on table number 1, Sam and Francois, with more detail coming in a moment. As you can see, looking at the scorecard, 43 versus 34. Far more with no prisoners to score for both players. Francois has taken no prisoners, raise the banners, and psychic interrogations. It's Tyranids. So this Tyranids looking for the win. Sam, just fresh off the WTC team for Canada, who got second best sports. Shout out to Team Canada. That's amazing. Relentless Assault, no prisoners again to be scored, and retrieve Nephilim data. So he's just waiting for that at the moment to see how that goes. Currently, as you can see, we're in Sam and Blood Angels turn 4. So they got loads of opportunities to bring these units. Well, listen into this game right now.
If you want, I can just pick up the eliminators, honestly.
Sure, yeah.
Save time. Because you took the objective back from me anyway.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just consolidate.
Don't worry. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I got the objective.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
We do need to charge these guys, though?
Oh, yeah. So we say you needed you're within 7, so it's a 6 down to a 5?
Yeah.
You're in a
Okay,
6?
6, very nice.
Cool.
I was hoping for like a 13 to swung into the objective, but
Yeah.
could I still do it? Sorry, I don't know why I'm going this way.
Don't worry.
I'm getting excited. So what did I roll? A 6, so it's a 7.
Yep.
So even if I go this way, well, actually, if I wipe them with like 4 guys, maybe one might go touch and contest this. So we're going to try that. But one guy will go basically here.
Okay.
And then we'll be able, like, basically I want to be exactly 3 from the objective to be able to consolidate. Oh, no, because I need to pass the wall.
Right.
Okay, right, so like this. I need to touch the wall. Then.
So, catching us up in this game, Pete. Pretty swingy game for both players. Big moment, the Hive Tyrant dying in the middle to Bolt of Fire, and with Sam trading up in the previous turn. How is this turn looking?
This has been a really great turn for Francois. He got off all the charges he needed to. His shooting was killed exactly the amount of models he wanted to, because he was a little concerned that he was going to kill too much and he was going to screw up a few of his charges. But he managed to only pick up 2 of the Sanguinary Guard in the middle, allowing his Hive Tyrant to get an easy charge onto them, only needing a 4. He needed a 7 onto the Eliminators. He got his 7. He needed, I think he needed a 6 actually. He needed a 7 up here to tag this unit over here. And what he's done is he's chained them down in such a way that when he kills this unit, if he kills this unit, what he'll be able to do is on his consolidation, because he gets to consolidate towards the nearest unit, put a model on this objective and steal it from Sam. So Sam really, really wants this unit to live. To see what happened here. He did put the Venom Thropes into the Sanguinary Guard as well, so he can give them Unalways Strike last. I'm not sure if he did so, but I assume that was the plan.
Yeah, as you can see, this terrain becoming again increasingly important as these units move through, especially these infantry blocks for their ability to fight really effectively through them, and that jumping infantry movement is coming in pretty killer as well.
Yeah, this is great for Francois. He's put himself into a pretty commanding space from a board controls perspective here. Cutting down Sam's primary is massive coming into this final turn, or coming into the bottom of 4 for Sam, because he would really like to be scoring an 8, and it's very likely he'll only score 4 here with the way that this is playing out, if not a 0.
Yes, so only 4 warriors able to fight into the incursors at the top or in the middle.
Did he already pick up the Eliminators there?
Yeah, he did. They just agreed to pick up the Eliminators already. Yeah, they weren't arguing about it. So then we got the unit at the top right that's going to try and pile in and consolidate.
Okay, so this is actually just the rest of this unit fighting in these incursors to see if you can clear them off the objective. Got it.
Yeah, because it's going to be really tough. Don't forget, at the very back, there's a unit of Sanguinary Guard that now is back up to a unit of... No, there's 2 units. There's 2 units of Sanguinary Guard at the back.
Only lost 1. Oh, so it was the squad, and he only lost 1 incursor?
And there are 2 units of Sanguinary Guard in there. There's our unit of...
Yes, there's a unit of 7 and a unit of 4.
Yeah, there's a unit 7 and a unit...
It'll be 4 next turn.
Yeah, unit 7 and unit 4 at the top.
That's real. Like that losing only 1 model is really good for Sam. I'm not sure if they measured it out properly for that consolidate to get onto the objective. It doesn't look like he did.
He did mention it.
He mentioned he was going to try, but if he needed to kill this whole unit in order to be able to do so.
Oh.
So So because he only killed 1, he would, if he consolidates, he gets closer. Yeah, that's big for Sam. So he's going to at least get his 4, if not 8, anyway, regardless of what happens here now. He'll get 8 because he'll hold both of these objectives no matter what now. Oh no, this is a 2-3, so he'll get on. Okay, so this is the Maw-Claw Tyrant. This is the Foot Tyrant. He's going to have 2 additional attacks because he gets 1 more from the Maw-Claws. Going into the Sanguinary Guard. And it also has exploding 6s, I believe, right now. Let's see if he manages to wipe the squad. 8 wounds. I believe this is AP 4, so they're going to get 5 ups, the Sanguinary Guard will. I might be mistaken here. Yeah, 5 ups. He passes 3, 4 guys die. He has 1 remaining.
Again, killer wiping a Sanguinary Guard out to 1 guy.
And we talked about this at the beginning of the game. I said Sam has done a very good job in every game I've seen him play of never having a full Sanguinary Guard squad wiped. He almost always has 1 guy remaining, and the next turn he just walks away and lives his best life. Now, in this case, the Venom Thropes can pile in and probably get a couple of attacks in. Venom Thropes aren't the greatest in combat, but they may be what finishes him off if he chooses to do so.
If he chooses to just have 1, maybe he's going to try and make sure he removes only the right casualties.
Yeah, so they're just talking out right now, Francois being so disappointed because this would have been a big 4-point swing, not being able to consolidate onto that objective. That's really big for Sam.
Especially when the points are so close, 9 points in it, you're going to want 4 points to bump that lead up.
Yes.
That is very interesting.
And leaving the 1 Sanguinary Guard is big for Sam as well because it's just another guy that he can hop somewhere else to get Relentless Assault points when his 2 other squads of Sanguinary Guard come out to play. Because this Tyranid warrior squad is not long for this world, I don't imagine. I can't see Sam pushing to the middle. Maybe I'm wrong here. It is a juicy middle to go into with those Venom Thropes and the Hive Tyrant.
I think he's very unlikely to be able to do that.
But okay. The Tyrant Guard are fighting into the Assault Marines. They only killed 2, so there's 3 remaining. Francois having a lot of whiffs here in close combat. Like that's not the best.
No, it's not the best, no.
Because Francois would have hoped that those Tyrant Guard could have wiped out that unit or brought them down to 1. 3 of them. Okay, so 2 remaining because there was a warrior in the back as well that managed to pick up another. I think that was Neurothropes actually probably that punched him down. But regardless, that's what 2 Assault Marines remaining back there. 1 with a Lightning Claw. They're not going to do a ton of damage, but you never know. It's a lot of attacks.
Okay, so just should we take a moment to look at table 2?
Yeah, let's cut to table 2 real quick because that game is so interesting. Ooh, I don't see a lot of Harlequins, but you never see a lot of Harlequins.
I don't see a lot of Harlequins. You never see them. They're always hiding underneath stuff at all. Let's listen in to the players and see what they're saying.
On.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the furthest it goes there.
Yep.
And then we got this stuff I want to.
Burn away!
That's the last
I really want to
Starweaver left
I think you get your last
alive,
interrogate for
hiding from nothing.
And then
we do have a troop master trying to deal with 2 Helverins. This is a rough scene, boys, for Hamza.
Hunt them down
that last shooting phase was
they have no way of staying
murderous.
safe.
Exactly. Yeah, so he'll just give me my behind enemy over here.
Yep. Because he doesn't want to get bonked to death.
Yep. Yeah, let's do it right there.
So this really now looks like it's Jeremy's game. That last shooting phase, brutal. I'm hearing that the rest of the bikes were pulled. There's only a couple of troops left trying to grab as many objectives as they can. He does have a Death Jester kind of, like basically Hamza's doing everything he can to score as many points as he can, but he's definitely run out of resources. It'll be super surprising if he can pull himself out of this.
I think
Jeremy's math kind of mathed this army to death.
How do we do this one? I think it's just going to have to be a simple interrogate.
So we're getting the scoreboard updated right now. 59-45.
All right, so we're going to go to interrogate.
We'll be moving into turn 5 shortly.
And you're on 2CB right now.
Yeah.
Let's cut back to table 1 because that, I think, is the more interesting game. And let's see what's going on over there.
Run. You got this.
We're going to cut to the player mics here because this is pretty interesting. They're just scoring up their turn 4 for Francois.
So over to me, I got 4 primary.
Yep.
Okay. I'll spend my one CP already just to move these guys into reserve.
Sure. So no more CP?
No, I went up to 2, back to 1. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Because I was at 2, and then what did I spend on it? Transhuman. That's right.
Okay.
I was at 2, transhuman, because I figured it's either transhuman or an interrupt, and it's like, it is what it is.
Transhuman was a better choice, especially given my rolling.
Yeah, and like you rolled a bunch of 2s and 3s, so it's like.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to blame dice. It is what it is.
No, of course. But like you can't help.
I played my game. I think I played well. I'm still in it. If you whiff this turn, then
I agree 100% with you.
Oh, and I did gain a CP just now.
Yep. So what we're gonna do is.
And I'm having fun.
This is a great game.
Yep. Oh, and this guy, of course, would boom.
These guys are gonna come over here for Chapter Master.
Yep.
Because I need you to go down to 0 CP so I can come in and try and do damage. I know you have Catalyst here.
Yep, Catalyst.
So it's like we have to roll the dice and just see what happens.
Yep.
But it's like kind of just it's just we're at that point of the game, right?
Yep. Well, I expect now this will disappear and then my game gets real hard.
Well, we're gonna find out. So I'm gonna be 2 inches back of here.
Yep.
Crazy enough, I think the librarian has to go over here and help out now. Actually, you know what? Sorry.
If you get within 3 of the mines, they will explode on you.
No, of course, of course. So librarian's going to jump over here.
Okay.
We're going to try and get null zone off.
Okay.
Because you have a 5 invul here, right?
No.
Oh, you don't? He's going to go over here. Jesus Christ. So from the point that he was at, oh my God. I was like, for sure, right?
Yeah, unless I casted, no, I did
not.
No.
It's catalyst, yeah. Sorry, that's my fault. Okay, these jabronis are going to move over here. 12.
Mm-hmm. It's fine. I just need you to roll like I rolled last turn. And then we'll.
So yeah, so this is the go time, turn 4 for Sam. He like as you heard them talking here, Sam. From a dice perspective, Francois feels like this is Sam's game to lose now. That transhuman on the incursors up top, that's what kept them alive. Francois rolling a ton of 2s and 3s, which normally would have killed those incursors, didn't this time because of it. The incursors clapback did pull a warrior, so there are only 2 remaining there. So I believe we're seeing that chapter master of Sam's going out to clear those off. We've got the librarian coming over to assist the sanguinary guard, as well as the sanguinary priest. And then we have a squad, that squad of like 3 or 4 sanguinary guard coming out to the mid board is what I would guess is happening right now. So yeah, this is definitely like Sam's go turn. He really wants to clear off as much, if not all, of this Tyranid warrior squad. They do have catalyst up, so it's not a guarantee. It's going to be a ton of attacks into them, a ton of buffed attacks. And like Francois said, if all of this is cleared out, Francois' turn 5 is going to be brutal, and Sam's going to get a pretty big end of game that will probably put him over the top. But still, it's anybody's game. There is another unit of incursors that have been put back into reserve using guerrilla tactics, so they'll be able to pop back onto the board later. Yeah, and we see another sanguinary guard popped in from the sanguinary priest. So there's 4 men in that squad. I'm assuming he's actually going to try to put them into the Hive Tyrant. I wouldn't be shocked if he does that instead of the Venom Thropes because of that potential fight last ability. Let's hear what they have to say, because I think we're at like a critical moment for everything involved.
Smite into the spores.
Yep. No.
That does not go off. We're going to Psychic Scourge the spores. That goes off on a 10. Hard 10. You can deny on an 11.
You have nothing else, right? So
yeah.
Might as well. Oh, I saw the 5. And
yeah. So what's your leadership on spores?
10.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, leadership 9, so we roll off. 9 plus 2. Okay, so you beat me, so nothing happens. All right. Okay.
It is surprising, but
yeah,
they're leadership 10. Yeah.
Over to shooting.
Yeah.
These 2 auto blowers are going to shoot into them.
Yeah.
3 hits.
Toughness 3.
Yeah. 3 to kill. 2 kills.
Well, no, they have a 6-up save. Do you have AP?
AP 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why you got to be like that, Sam?
Because reason. Oh wait, no, sorry. They're auto bolt rifles. You do have 6 ups. Sorry,
yeah.
you do.
That's what I thought.
Sorry.
2 6s.
In my head, yeah.
Oh,
hey, there's 1. Nice.
Hey.
Librarian into them. Hits on a 2. This is 2 to kill, so AP 5. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Over here, 2 Infernal Pistols.
In the invuln turn, they get invulns.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. We'll shoot 4 pistols in combat over here.
Yep.
3s. 5s. Nothing. Then we're going to shoot the priest. There's nothing because he's not even touching this. That's my bad. Over here, we're going to shoot everything into this.
Yep.
So 2 Inferno Pistols on 3s. 2 hits. I'll slow roll them because I want to CP roll one of these. So 4 up. Nope. 4 up. 1.
Okay.
AP lots.
4 up.
It's D6 plus 2.
Do I have a better use for the CP?
You have 1 CP left, right?
Because I can't fight on death. I can't -1 damage because you're going to hit me with a big unit. No point in doing it there. I'll just use it.
Okay. Nope. D6 plus 2. Or 1. I'll spend a CP on this.
Okay.
Plus 2. For 5.
Oh no, a 1 into 1
then,
on that damage roll.
The last bolt gun guy there, I may as well shoot him.
We
Double
re-rolled
1s, Chapter Master. 2 hits. I need 6s. Your TV 8. 6s. Nothing. All right. So we're going to go on to shooting here as well. Inferno Pistol from the captain into them. He hits. I need a 4. He wounds. AP 5.
Just goes through.
D6 plus 2 because I'm within range.
Well, that
so
just kills 1.
Just kills 1.
Oh, I do have Catalyst. So
oh, yeah. 4, so 6.
No.
Okay. And then the bolters. 1,
not rolling
2,
out.
3. Sorry, I got you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be hitting on... Oh, God. Hitting on 2s because my warlord's there. Rerolling 1s. I'll hit. And then 5s to wound.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. AP 1.
AP on this one?
Yeah.
5 ups? Save
so 4
1.
and
so it
Catalyst.
kills- oh, yeah, Catalyst.
Yeah, you got Catalyst. May as well, right?
Nope.
So, okay. That's
No,
another
not
one.
with the way
Whoa.
I'm rolling, I might as well not have Catalyst.
I know, right? I know. So I'm going to charge. Sanguinary Guard. Actually, Librarian's going to go into his Warriors.
Sure thing.
Okay. Now 11 will definitely do it. I'm going to go over here.
Yep.
We're going to put the Sanguinary Guard.
So, like, Sam's moving real quick now. He's off into his charge phase. He has pulled, I believe, 2 of the Warriors from the squad already, even through Catalyst, just from shooting. That's really big for him because he really does want that squad gone if he can help it. This is going to be 35 attacks from the Sanguinary Guard. I believe the Chapter Master is still nearby. No, he brought the Chapter Master over here. I was going to say they'd be hitting on 2s otherwise. But still, a ton of attacks. He's got this squad of 4 Sanguinary Guard that he's going to try to put into the Hive Tyrant for sure to see if he can clear off those remaining 6 wounds, because that'll be a big deal for him if he clears that off. He does have a Sanguinary Priest that can also make the charge, but just in a Chainsword, I'm not sure if he's willing to risk it. And then he's got characters going into this squad. So this is real big for Sam. I think we should cut to the audio here and see exactly what.
All right.
2, 4, 6, 7.
So I just need to be really lucky. And these are damage 2, right?
Yeah.
So I need to
make 4 of them.
Make 4 of them. No, because I've got 6. I need to make 5 of them. No, there's 7.
7, yeah.
7. All right, here was nothing. Yes.
Hey, nice.
Yes.
That was huge.
Yes. My luck is coming back.
Does he bracket or anything?
Wow, that's
well,
huge.
he's middle bracket now, yeah.
Cool. So over here, we're going to swing with the captain first.
Oh, thank God.
That
now
is
he's
massive for that Hive Tyrant to live through that. To roll that many 4
5
ups.
4 ups.
Is crazy. Like, that's real bad for Sam. Sam did not want that to happen.
So especially because he's going to be able to return fire into that unit now.
Yes.
Like he would have much.
And that is
preferred
the
to lift
much
it.
weaker unit that'll probably just die because he's only on middle bracket.
So that's really going to reduce his resources pretty significantly there.
At the same time, he'll be hitting on 4s. I believe Sam does have 3 CP remaining, so he could transhume. No, he can't transhume in the Sanguinary Guard, but he'll be hitting on 4s, so it's not a guarantee that they'll die, but it's not good.
But the Sanguinary Guard charge right now, so they're fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Sanguinary Guard squad should wipe this unit, or at least bring it down to like like almost nothing. The only thing there will be the obsec will be very big for Francois if any of these guard live.
It's just keeping these. It's keeping these. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Keeping them on a 4 up because again they're transhuman.
Yeah.
Okay, so just roll low. Roll low. Let's hear it.
I mean, it looks like he had 25 or 26 hits.
4.
that
6,
looks like enough.
8,
They're not. They might
10,
get 6 ups against this.
12.
Oh, they'll get their catalyst.
14,
but I'm not sure.
16, 18.
Okay, 18.
So 18 and then you can do your catalyst. I'll shoot.
Four,
Come on.
36
What's the other way?
wounds. He has 36 wounds with no
Yeah,
saves.
okay.
Oh, we'll finish. So
Yeah.
This is the 18, so
Yeah.
it's 2 damage each, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take 2, add 2. That's 4 damage on a guy. He's alive on 1.
Nice.
So we take another 2 damage.
Yep.
No,
just
1
yeah,
damage.
just 1. Yeah. Sorry, 1 guy.
He's dead.
He's dead. Yep.
Now we'll take another 4 damage.
Yep.
He's dead.
Another one's dead.
Take another 4 damage.
You might have 1 or 2 remaining.
Just out of the way.
He's
dead.
dead.
Sorry, not to get confused with those ones.
Another 4 damage.
Yep.
He's alive on 1.
Yep. So then you can eat one of those.
He's dead.
He does.
He's dead, and now he's just probably very
Oh my
dead.
god, yeah. That's super dead. Yeah.
I'm not going to bother rolling.
Solid this way like this.
He does do it. Great. So that's
That
really
was
good for
too good.
Sam. Clearing off that objective.
Unfortunate for Francois. I think he already escaped with the Hive Tyrant in the middle, so I think
that
he's
was
going
a
to be
big
happy
escape
about
with that Hive Tyrant. That Hive Tyrant should have died on dice, but that's dice sometimes. So
it's amazing how much these Blood Angels have been able to like trade into these warriors, and they've done really well, to maintain. So they're going to be super happy about that.
Yeah, and we're seeing the incursors and the Chapter Master finishing off the warriors in the top right. I don't see it living. Maybe. I mean, you never know. Yeah.
Interesting. So what do we think? What do we think Francois got?
Oh,
as
is there
snapback?
still a warrior left up here at the top right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah. I think. I don't know. Yeah. There's definitely a warrior up there. The base is the same.
Yeah. And so we have the Hive Tyrant attacking back into the injured Hive Tyrant attacking back into the Sanguinary Guard. Seeing how many damage get put through. And it looks like that one warrior has 2 remaining. I figured those warriors would die. Maybe the incursors haven't attacked yet because that would be. Yeah, because the incursors would still get to attack. Oh, 6 attacks all hit.
Oh boy.
Wipes the unit. Wipes the unit.
That's massive because that Hive Tyrant could then comfortably go into that top left-hand objective and also punch into the other Sanguinary Guard unit.
He could, for sure.
And yeah, look at that immediate consolidate. I want all of that movement right up there. That's put him in a really good place. That's super unfortunate for Sam in that particular play. Yeah, I mean, Sam's done a great job though. Like, look, he's controlled the board space quite nicely. But like I said at the beginning of the game, I just think this is a resource management game where he just started. I think he started 2 units down.
Yeah.
Like, he traded well once into the Hive Tyrant, but then I think that's just brought it back to -2 again, in my opinion.
I think you're right. That said, like, the game's not over. Sam does have bottom of turn, and that's really big in a game where Francois is low on resources himself. That said, this one warrior not dying is also big. I mean, it'll probably die next turn, but, like, it's just another thing that Sam now has to worry about. The backfield is a lot better protected than I think Francois
Those Assault Marines have gone.
Thought he would be. The Assault Marines, I believe, are gone. He may have put them back into reserve to bring them back down turn 5 upon Wings of Fire.
We'll find out what happened with the Assault Marines. Oh, okay, we've got a result on table 2. Thank you very much. This is Hamza and Jeremy, and I think that we saw a win for Jeremy.
Yeah, we'll get the final score here momentarily from Richard.
But there you can see, so the Imperial Knights I just think they just spiked really high, and Hamza rolled like some of those invuln saves lower than he wanted, and then the numbers just kind of like played out. We might be able to get an interview from Val when we get an opportunity to talk to the players.
I think that would be great. But Richard, can we get the final score on Hamza versus Jeremy?
Yeah, just the final score, the actual final numbers. It's going to kind of be important because actually that puts Jeremy within striking distance of the podium.
So
94-78
for Imperial Knights. That's big for Jeremy if somehow Francois and Sam end in a draw.
Yeah, only if they end in a draw.
But that would give Jeremy the battle points where he probably surpasses both of them in that case.
Yes, because his draw from the previous round and his only draw was a 1990.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 94-78. That's interesting. That's put Jeremy within striking distance of the final. But these two players have to draw. The points are very, very close. Let's take a look. There's only 10 points in it at the moment if all the scores are updated on this.
Yeah.
So, and the big swing here, the thing that we aren't seeing, looking at the secondaries, both of our no prisoners to be scored.
And I think that's going to be big. I believe
Thank you so much.
Sam is the one that has the better shot at no prisoners here, just due to the fact that he has pumped out more wounds. I believe Francois can only max 13 no prisoners if he kills everything, and Sam can get the full 15 on this. So we'll have to see how much work this Hive Tyrant can do. That's going to be very key to Francois handling this off. So Nids have already gone into shooting. We've seen him kind of spread out into as many objectives as he can. He's got his Venom Thropes onto this. And he's trying to kill these incursors to force Sam to have to really manage his resources on that turn 5.
Oh, okay. And then we've got the Tyrant going into the Sanguinary Guard left-hand side.
Yes.
Okay, that's going to be important. That's going to be quite a big... I definitely think he can hurt them. I'm not sure he can wipe them.
It is 7 Sanguinary Guard. He can knock them down to 2 or 3 dudes quite easily. But there's also a Librarian in there, I believe, as well. So both Incursors died to shooting. It had to be expected that was going to happen. There is a Sanguinary Priest all by his lonesome there as well. Yeah.
We've got into some very tight game now. There is not much. Let's listen to the players, shall we?
Yeah,
see how they feel.
I don't remember my list.
I'd rather hear everything they're having to say.
I keep having to check. Yes, he has Psychic Scream.
Okay.
Goes off. D3. Shoot.
Nope.
Okay.
Actually, we're going to like this for this guy.
Yep. So, charges. Tyrant goes in.
Yep.
Do I want to charge these guys with them? I think so. Might as well. It just gives you... If you kill me, though, it just gives you...
Well, either way, I get movement out of it.
Points.
Because you won't kill me with those guys.
Well, it's going to be 15 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 2s at AP1. So I might kill...
A guy or two, yeah.
But then you kill me back, and there are 4 wounds each, so I'm not gonna.
Yep.
So we're just gonna go with the Tyrant. So he killed a unit, so he gets +1 attack, so he's on 7 now.
Nice. Hitting on 4s?
The Maw is really fun.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. 1 miss, reroll 1.
I'm making up from earlier.
Really good.
And
2s?
now 2s rerolling.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 AP4s.
Yeah.
It's a cannon roll, yeah.
5 ups.
Each one kills a dude.
They did.
Oh, yes! That's huge.
Okay.
And that's going to be my turn. At the end of the turn, I'll score 3 more banners.
That's really big for Francois. As you saw him shout, like that was really exciting for him.
That
3 more banners at the end.
seal it for Francois
I do get 2 bonus.
Killing that whole unit. I mean, he does still have the librarian here.
And
that guy is
you
on
can
4
take it away.
wounds. The librarian might.
Let me see what I can do here.
Maximum prisoners, not quite,
no,
right?
we don't.
No.
He's lost all of them now.
He's lost them all.
He does have an Incursor squad that can come back onto the board with guerrilla tactics, I believe. And I'm not sure if he, upon Wings of Fire, the remaining 1
Who's
or
gonna
2
put the clock
Assault
away?
Marines or not.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the only thing.
Because you only have 2 minutes, but I have 16. I'm giving them to you.
Francois' gain.
Yes.
They're just talking out time. There's 18 minutes remaining. Francois doesn't want this to come down to a clock out on Sam, so he's just letting him go.
I can get swole.
Yeah.
From Francois.
Here.
From Francois. Now, they did do a lot on Sam's clock as well earlier, so it's kind of like
My objective.
It's just a very nice thing of him to do.
My objective.
We're going to have to see how many objectives that
walk in.
that Francois,
Yeah,
like,
he was about to run out of time, but I gave him mine.
There we go.
Here we
Look
go.
at
So we
that.
see the Incursors come back for Relentless Assault into into his deployment zone.
Okay, so points-wise, just taking a moment to look at this very tense game towards the end. Francois, 20 points up. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
so no prisoners is going to be a big here. Sam can max his primary, I do believe, if he's careful with his movement and he gets some decent advances, which would put him at 50, possibly an additional 4 because of the second primary. So possible 16 on that, and then it's can he get his Relentless Assault, and what's he doing on no prisoners? Which was why we didn't see the Venom Thropes do any charges, because he didn't want to sacrifice the 12 wounds that those Venom Thropes would be worth.
For no prisoners.
For no prisoners, yeah.
Okay, so down to the wire. I mean, like the shout that's going to happen if this ends as a draw from somewhere else in the room. Somewhere else in the room. So 20 points drawback, and as Pete points out, we've got 2 scores to come in. One, Francois's got to add his no prisoner score to his total, and then Sam's got to add his, as well as everything he's going to score. So this is going to come down to moments for working out. Board position, though, it's just about moving onto all those objectives now. I don't think there's any charges. Let's listen to the players.
We're going to go read it, but I'm very confident.
Yeah, can we confirm that?
I am very confident they only come down in command phases.
Yeah, sorry, I really would like to know that.
Yeah, of course. Raise banners high. The banner is removed if your opponent controls the objective.
You remove banners at a different time. That's a change, right?
Yeah, it was changed with Nephilim, yeah.
Okay, so that would have been something that Sam would have wanted to do in the command phase?
Yeah, if we pop to those secondaries.
Sure. Oh.
Yes, because what Sam was hoping to do was pull down a couple of these secondaries and remove 2 points from Francois.
Interesting. That feels like a really big change, like in between editions.
Yeah, I'm wondering, it is a big change, and I'm wondering if that means that Sam just doesn't have the shot to make the points back.
Interesting.
So let's cut back to hear what they're having to say.
Left.
Here.
So 110.
So down to 90, and 94 because of that.
Okay.
So it's 9 plus the bonus
10.
for 10.
I'll do my math in a second.
Yeah, I was actually going to say it really comes down to your math on that.
Yep.
To see what I have to do.
So I have 10, right?
Yeah, so they're...
So I get 10 no prisoners?
Yep.
They're working at no prisoners to see how many points Sam has already gotten.
Okay,
He knows
and,
that Francois got 10 on no prisoners right
so let's
now.
see.
And
Let's count, okay?
depending
Count with
on
me
how
because
many
my math is...
Yeah, of course.
Already got,
Okay.
that'll determine what he
So
needs to
that's
kill in order to either make this a draw or a win. If he can even do
15.
that.
Yep.
That's 5 warriors, so that's 30.
Okay.
That's 5 warriors,
Thank you.
so that's 45. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 warriors, so that's 60.
We've
5
just seen 10
warriors.
points go on the board there. 74 points now.
80.
No prisoners.
83. 87.
This guy.
That guy, so 90. 94.
94. So 10 as well?
Yep.
Sam, so both Francois and Sam on 10 for no prisoners.
Holy shit, I think I win, Sam.
I think you do too.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
That's
He's going to be happy about that.
I think that's the final score. We're going to talk about it, but
So what do you
I have
what do you have?
77, 74 to me.
74.
I mean, this is pretty exciting for Francois. Has Francois ever picked up a big title before?
Do not believe he's won a major before.
Oh, I mean,
he's definitely put up some big numbers. I believe this would be his first major.
That would be good. I'm super happy about
Yeah,
that.
94 that gives you 97. That wouldn't give you another.
What this comes down to
so
is
he can
that,
go in and kill them as well, right?
So
is that Hive Tyrant?
If we give you an extra point, I still win, right? So.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what I would need to do,
So if
right?
you kill him, that's +8, so that gives you an extra point. Yes.
Okay, so then
let's give you 11 no prisoners.
So I'll roll 12. It'll be 12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, I still win by 1 if that happens.
Right. So what I'm going to do is because we should roll it out obviously because we're not just going to assume I kill things.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll
but
here.
Like if you kill them, I still win by 1. Correct? 77, 76.
The thing is, if I can take them off of one of these bonuses, then I'll be -2 to your bonus.
I haven't given myself any endgame bonuses.
I have.
Okay, let's.
Yeah. But I'll do like this.
So again, the math becoming the math being important right now, and just discussing what's going on.
Yeah, so they're going through each other's points.
So yeah,
So they're trying to. They're just. There looks like to be a scoring discrepancy between the two. Francois thinks he'd have 4 more points on top of what they're kind of talking through. Sam doesn't believe that's the case. So they're just going through how they've scored each round to make sure there's no discrepancy. Because like there is the chance here if Francois had been mistaken, given himself too many points, where if this librarian picks up these thropes, that Sam can turn it around and win by 1. I think that's what they're trying to say here. So let's cut back to player audio and see what's going on.
Can
and see if they
win the game then.
I don't know. Depends. Yeah, maybe.
So let's go here.
I might not have won. I might have jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do this properly.
It's going to be real close.
So sorry.
I mean, at this point, like it's been a good game. I don't really.
So it looks like he has to kill that Hive Tyrant in order.
Oh,
for
where
this
did my
to
thing
through.
go?
Okay, so that's why they're pulling back.
Just
the
disappeared on my
librarian.
phone. Excellent.
So
if the librarian can kill the
still
Hive
have mine.
Tyrant, they're saying that that's the swing.
What the fuck? All right. Well, that's
incredible.
annoying.
This is so tight.
This is super tense.
Okay.
That's okay. That's fine.
Okay,
We're
don't
working
worry,
through
don't
it.
Dickie.
So I'm going to smite into the warrior.
Here.
Okay.
It goes off on a 9 because
Well, I mean,
Shadow of the
I'm within
Warps.
24, so I might as well.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope. So he just dies.
Yeah, he's just
One
dead. You're at 97 wounds now.
Yep. Then we'll do Psychic Scourge.
So that warrior dies, which
goes
which
soft
confirms
on a
the relentless
9 as well.
assault For
So
no.
we do the roll off though. So 9 plus. Okay, so 6. 6. Your leadership?
What are you?
I'm leadership 9 plus my 6.
Which unit?
This unit right in front of me.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Because then you roll the 6 as well. So if you have leadership 9, only 1 mortal. If you have leadership 8 or less,
I have leadership less 8 or less.
Yeah. Okay. So there's D3 mortals.
Yeah.
So for 2 mortals.
Okay.
the venom thropes.
So does
Priest
he
will
have
throw
to
the
kill
crack
tyrant to get to win?
He needs to kill. I believe he needs to kill
Hits.
at least one of these venom tropes.
Does not
and
wound.
the tyrant.
All the
to get
bolters.
enough,
1,
no
2.
prisoners.
So he's
3.
playing into the dying moments.
Yes.
Literally
Into
nothing
the, guys here.
left on the board.
I ignore minuses to hit.
Yep.
Your T4, 5?
5.
5.
So
Fives.
all this
We
shooting
got
is
4.
going into those venom
AP1.
tropes to try and kill them. If he kills them and then kills the hive
I say
tyrant
1.
with the
So 2.
librarian.
So that gets me over the hump.
That's
That
a
gives
lot.
you,
That's
No,
a lot,
two
but I
wounds
hope
went
it's
through
gonna
killing
work.
the guy.
Oh,
Yes,
so the
but-
venom tropes are dead.
Only
or
2?
at least
Yeah. I just killed one
I
guy
thought
and you have a guy.
there were
No, yeah.
okay, yeah.
So that gets me to 12. So I don't care about that anymore.
That gets
Okay,
you.
so-
That gets you to 10.
10
so 12,
and
yes.
yeah. Then Inferno Pistol here.
So I'm getting
Hits.
spoken to by a lot. So
Inferno
he's at 12
Pistol.
on no prisoners now. And now it's about can he kill this hive tyrant? Inferno Pistol fails. It's not for no prisoners, Nikos. I believe this is to clear the objective.
Yeah, it's to clear the objective. Yeah, because then he gets a bonus point.
Because then he'll get his max on primary. 2, but they're 2d3.
They are 2d3. He's
he
alive.
Lives on 1 wound.
He doesn't die.
So
wow.
Francois wins by 1
Holy
point
shit.
with 1 wound remaining on that high.
That's crazy.
77, 76,
that was
1
awesome.
point.
Oh, man.
Great game.
Bring it
Great
in.
game.
That was crazy. Good game, man.
That's fantastic.
That was crazy.
Absolutely amazing stuff.
I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could take. You can't take banners down anymore.
That is such a tense game, and I mean, amazing game between 2 great sports as well.
2 great
you
sports.
You heard Francois say, like, you can have some of my time. Like,
there were takebacks on both sides that were very minor, but still very important to the game. You know, forgotten charges, for like slight changes to how.
But don't listen to us. Don't listen to us. We'll talk about it.
Let's do an interview.
Let's do an interview. Let's talk to the guys right now. Let's go.
Just like real sports, we're going to shove microphones right in your faces. 77-76, guys, for Francois. Congratulations on a really amazing final round. You played like, I hate using the word, but it seems to apply, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm amazed. This was, I think, the best game of Warhammer I've ever played.
I concur. That was incredible. He pushed me right to every moment of every minute of the turns, and I was just like, you saw when I walked away from the table just to think, and it was like I was stressed in a good way. It was awesome.
I have a giant headache now. Yeah. You pushed me real hard too, my
really
friend. That was like incredible.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, I mean, that's very fantastic. I mean, the other tables also did a nice job of getting out of the way, so we do have a sole champion. Hamza went down.
Okay.
So Francois, you have taken the sole position, first place, Capital City Bloodbath. How do you feel, sir?
I could fly right now.
For the record, you can't.
No,
This happens to people on drugs as well. So, like, just so you know, that's just the adrenaline and feel-good feelings. And particular highlight from the final round for you.
Oh my God! That one turn where all of a sudden my Hive Tyrant, my walking Hive Tyrant just could not miss. He was hitting on 4s, and I just rolled a ton of 4s, and I just mowed through Sandguard. That won me the game. Yep.
And I mean, obviously only a 1 point behind. I don't want to say what was missed, but you know, what were your highlights? What do you feel like went very well for you?
Yeah, I thought I just played my game, kept it consistent, and the fact that I was able to keep it, you know, within 1 point to lose. I mean, yeah, it does sting a tad, but the fact that you're losing to Tyranids, well, Leviathan Tyranids on Tide of Conviction by 1 point, I can't, you know, not think I played poorly. So I think I did my best, and he's a great general. So I mean, no one I'd rather lose to, honestly, in the room.
And I do want to add that I think that we had like a super friendly game, and I enjoyed playing you so much. I've never played this man before, which is weird because we go to the same tournaments and we usually end up at the top, but we've never played, and I'm so happy I finally got the chance.
Well, and you did it in spectacular fashion. Perhaps we will see it again. I would like to personally thank you for being a Canadian to win Capital City Bloodbath. We didn't have as many Americans as usual this year, but it's been a while, so you brought it home.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's it from our. And Darren, he's the real winner. I will hand it back to the booth. He'll wrap it up. Congratulations to you both for a fantastic final.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heffelfinger, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in to Capital City Bloodbath 2022. Falcon, great weekend. Got a highlight? Got a big favorite moment, do you think?
I think my favorite moment this entire week, well, it's a toss-up. It's either between eating that sweaty lobster last night at the Chinese restaurant or just that finale. I always get goosebumps in a top table game when it's down to the wire like that, when they're both counting points, they're looking for everything they got. It comes down to effectively 1 wound on a Hive Tyrant as to how this game is going to play out.
That's huge.
A Hive Tyrant that survived getting brutalized by 4 Sanguinary Guard that should have died, and then went back and killed 11 of them on the clapback. Like, that is such a cinematic way for this tournament to end, and it couldn't be like 2 better players in this room.
Two nicer players either as well.
Like Sam and Francois, both just beautiful souls. I mean, I know I called him Francois this entire time. I believe that is exactly how his name should be pronounced.
Yeah, I think that's actually the traditional pronunciation.
Yes, it is. If you go to France, that's how they do it.
That's how they say it.
Yeah,
That's how they say it. I'm from near there.
Yeah,
like that makes sense.
But still, just having talked to these guys over and over again this weekend, they're just amazing generals. They love this game. They love all the people in it. It couldn't be a better finale. In
honestly, like second time at Capital City Bloodbath, but like the community here in Canada is fantastic. Really,
other than like 3 people, one of which is Val Heffelfinger.
3 really tight knit and actually really kind. So it's been super lovely to see all them playing and see everyone. So you obviously a good representation of the community, as were the players. So thanks to everyone who did appear on stream. Thanks especially to the stream queue yourself, who've been great. Tom, our amazing cameraman.
In his short shorts, just pulled everything we could have ever asked for him off. Val making me laugh, even though I would
Val
never
was
admit
hilarious.
It to his face.
I don't
never
like,
admit
never
that to
again.
His
like
face.
there's a moment, like, and I messaged Val about it a moment ago. You didn't only just see an exciting game of 40k coverage. You saw a small promo video for a self-published fantasy novelist.
Yes.
Like when do you get that mixture? Like you just don't get that mixture. We also saw a 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy battle. Like honestly,
With a 6-year-old
like I
Val
don't.
Heffelfinger.
I think I haven't yet unpacked emotionally what we've been witnessing, but it's been crazy.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
It's
and
been a lot.
Sweaty Lobster.
Yeah,
Like,
and thanks to Dickie for great table bossing
And weird
doing
ears.
and being amazing. So thank you to everyone who tuned in live. Hope you really enjoyed it. You're all brilliant and wonderful. Again, just really exciting to be talking about 40k. It's made me really excited about more 40k in the future. Thanks to everyone, and I hope you had a great time. Oh, final shout out to the organisers, to Darren and Chris.
They pulled off such an amazing show. I wish you could bottle Chris Haynes' energy. It would make you fall asleep, but it would also be very intense.
I would also
It's a
wish you
weird
could. I
situation.
wish you could also bottle the wild-eyed magic nature that's inside Darren C's eyes.
Oh, man, everything about him, especially when it comes to Chinese food. Just like, I love everything about it. Shout out to Francois,
the champion.
Great champion.
The Capital City Bloodbath champion, Frank. Woo-wee.
Shout out to Jeremy Atkinson for also kind of going undefeated. Shout out to Santiago. I'll see you later tonight. Shout out to Cadence, Xander, and Owen. I'll see you tomorrow. Shout out to Rob Symes for being just the most beautiful smelling soul. Like, if I had to sit beside another individual for 20 hours over 2 days, I would not pick anyone else.
We did it. We did it, boys. 40k is done, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.